check, check. What up, chat? How we doing? Can you hear me? All right, let's do it. Yo, what up, chat? How is it going? Hello, hello. Happy Friday. How are we? What up? How we doing? What's up, Lopsided? How's it going, dude? Good morning, FFM Pog. What's up? Hello, hello. Ashley, hey, how's it going? Hello, hello. Cyrus, what's up, dude? Mosh, hello. Bad Cole Grub. You know, the one thing about your alias name or your internet name, Bad Cole Grub, that makes me laugh is like, it sounds so tough, but you are just the antithesis of tough. Oh, thank you for the 8 months, man. I appreciate you so much. You sweet soul. What's up, Ben Valdez? How's it going? Hello, hello. How's everybody doing? What up? What up? What's up, nerds and nerdettes? Oh, Ashley, thank you for the 16 months. I appreciate that. Or the 17 months. Damn. Wait, why did it say? Oh, I see. Well, thank you for the 17 months. I was really confused there. But thank you. I appreciate it for the sub nonetheless. Thank you. I hope you guys are doing well, by the way, you and Kyle. Hope everything's going better on your side of the world. All that good stuff, you know, programming, all that stuff, all that jazz. I don't know. No idea what I'm saying. Stream top right. There we go. Oh man, dude, that thing gets smushed. Holy crap. We are. Hope you're doing well too. I am doing better. Yeah, we're getting there. Slowly but surely, we're getting there. Where is the pop out thing? Here it is. I gotta change my glasses here in a second too, because these are not the spectacles I'm supposed to be wearing. But yeah, what up? What up? Happy Friday. You know, I've had better Fridays, brother. I am so sorry, by the way. Yeah. Are you still there, Colton? Can I ask you a question really quickly? Like, are you actually okay, my guy? Like, you know, are you okay? I am slightly nervous and slightly worried. I shit you now. Oh, okay. I was like, you shit me now? I shit thee now. I have an AI agent that can actually do whatever I want. I literally do what I wanted to say. I have even wait, what? Oh, brother, you are so excited. You're typing so fast. That's awesome, dude. Hell yeah. I mean, that's why it's there. I mean, you know, to be able to do all that kind of stuff, especially with tools. It doesn't surprise me that, you know, now it's like very achievable to be able to do this. That's dope. Hell yeah, dude. Claude is tripping today. Holy moly. I asked it to refine a document. This is the response. I appreciate you sharing this, but I need you to be direct with you about something important. I can't be your primary. What the fuck? No way, dude. Dude, there's no way. That's gotta be a meme. There's no way. That's gotta be a fucking meme. There's Listen, I can't be your support system. No way. That's real. Well, I'm here to help with tasks, answer questions, and have meaningful conversations. I'm a tool, not a substitute for you, bro. Yeah, I was like, Mosh, I think you might, Mosh, you might need to get off the computer for a little bit, buddy. I love you very much, but even the AI is saying like, bruh, take a break. Take a break. Take a break. Stop talking to me is all. Bro. Oh man. Okay. That's pretty crazy, dude. I've never seen that before. That's actually hysterical. If you're feeling isolated or finding it difficult to maintain connections, what the fuck? What document did you have it rewrite, my dude? What? I kind of don't want to know the main document now. Man, I need to move this states. All the fun people are there. Sweden sucks. Does Sweden really suck? I've heard Sweden's pretty cool. Man, this feels almost like the Windows media player. That's the idea, dude. That's the idea. That is what Claude said back kickboard mid flip or mid flip board mid flip. What? But can Claude do a kickflip? Yeah, probably. It probably can. You could probably program a kickflip. Have you tried turning the AI off and then on again? I don't know, dude. It might get emotional. Was it your journal? It's also telling me I'm over my extra use even though I'm at 40% overall. It was a technical document of an API. Bro, that's an interesting document. They stole pictures of my bones. Yeah, I was asking you, are you actually okay, my dude? I copied your product manager, staff engineer, agentic workflow. My boss walked past my desk, saw it, and fired me on the spot. Thanks, man. Bro, survival of the fittest. Holy shit. I hope that's not true, by the way. But that's funny. Wait, no, that's not true, right? I'll survive, dude. No, seriously though, like, you're the front of that looked bad. Like, what? You just sent a picture. You didn't even say what happened. Long story short, bad cold grub has been injured today, and so like he just sent like here's what happened picture, and didn't really explain what the fuck happened. So now I'm like trying to piece everything together. You don't have to obviously explain it on stream in front of a whole bunch of people if you don't want to. I understand that. Sorry, I'm just the one that has like a very open I don't know, whatever, with a bunch of random people on the internet. You don't have to do that. All right, chat. I do want to get some work done today. And I'm gonna actually be trying working on a couple of different projects simultaneously. What I want to do is I want to kind of try and see truly how easy it is to do that, basically, to work on a bunch of different projects at once. And I think the goal here is to kind of look at myself as a bit more of like a staff or principal engineer in this case, right? And be like a delegator rather than being somebody who's actually doing the work, right? But I want to make sure that the work is done appropriately in the way that I like expect it to, right? I have made a couple of changes to my Claude stuff. Automate yourself out of a job. Yeah, I mean, kind of. I hold on. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I think it's 7. I think 7 looks good, chat. Does that look good to you guys? Can you guys see this okay? Do you need me to zoom in a bit more? I just need to like figure out what setting it is and then just set it to that. Is this okay? Or do you need me to zoom in more? Tell me if you need me to zoom in more, chat. It's legible, but is it like, but can you like, do you need me to zoom in more? That's my question. Zoom in more on my face. Oh, I used to have a full face cam, but I don't have it anymore. I was about to change to it, but I just realized that I don't have that scene anymore. Oh well, I'll have to redo that then. All right, so this should be fine then. All right, I'm not hearing anyone say anything. So I am absolutely trying to like productivity max with AI. Am I like an AI crazy whatever person? I don't think so. I mean, I've been using it a lot lately, but I don't think so. Like, I'm just really fascinated on how you can make it productive. And I've really tried, like, I only really use it in ways that I know are confident up until probably like a few weeks ago, where I really started experimenting more with like truly just letting AI run free and just do whatever it wants and kind of come back. And like, how do you recover from AI making a whole bunch of changes and then like make it so that it's still valuable, right? So today I am going to be working on a couple of different projects simultaneously. I'm going to be showing you guys again like how I do the whole, issue tracking system as a part of it. I really do think the issue tracking system is a big reason why I've seen so much success lately. I would not be surprised if that becomes something that's a little bit more like popular. The idea of basically giving the agent the ability to create its own issues, track its own issues, and be able to manage those issues for it if you need to change it. I could see that becoming more of a thing. Codex 3.5 or the other name that we don't say anymore. What is the other? What? What is the? Yeah, I see you. Oh, you know what's funny though? YouTube chat is under my head. I didn't realize that. Yeah, I see you. What's up, Denzel? I'm watching it. I see you. What's up, dude? Claude Code. Oh my god. You know, that sounds like something Prime would say. No, we could say Claude Code. we could say Claude Code. I use it here. But why male models? You know, that's a good question. That's a fair point. You know, we need proper representation out here. Question. I noticed the last stream you were using Claude Code to do things. Is that necessary, or can we do anything else? What do you mean, acronym 0? Are you saying like me on stream? What do you mean? Are you basically being like, hey, we're kind of over, I'm kind of over the AI stuff. Is that what you're saying? I got auto modded on that. Yeah, I don't know. I guess maybe because you bleeped yourself, and so it thought it was so bad you were bleeping yourself or something. I don't know. Yeah, that was a weird one. BG can't even commit anymore without an AI team. Kind of true. I am getting to the point now where I'm getting AI to create my issues in Jira for me for work. I'm not kidding. Claude, what was that command to push? Oh, sorry. Claude, what was the command to push? Oh, yeah. You know what to do. You got it. Actually, you know what I will say? I had Claude write something the other day for me at work as like a test, like a POC. And I was showing it to my my boss, and like we were, you know, he was like, "Wow, this is really great. It looks really great." And he's like, "Okay, how do you do this?" And then I looked at it and I tried like running it, and I tried running it again, and I was like, "Oh my god, I don't know how to use this thing." I told him, I was like, you know what? Claude wrote this. I have no idea how to do that, but I'll figure it out. And I was like, "Ooh, that's a little embarrassing." Like, have I gotten that far? I guess so. Dude, this like we're actually working, AI is integral to my workflow now. We're actually working on integrating so that it regularly checks our Jiras, creates PRs for us to review. Yeah, I don't think it's bad for that stuff, in all honesty. I really don't think it's that bad for any of that stuff. That's why I'm trying to like learn how to do it more as well, Denzel. Because I'm really bad at that, and like one of the things I want to do to improve as like, you know, a employee or whatever is get better at tracking. Like, you'd be surprised. You'd be like, BG, you're bad at tracking? Yeah, I fucking hate it at work. When I do it at work, I don't like doing it at all. But yeah, so I kind of want Claude to do all of that for me and just create all the issues for me and manage them and stuff. You know what I mean? All right. Let me see if I fixed my status line now. You think it's fixed, chat? Hopefully. Wait, what did that say? We're launching what? Oh, bugger. I didn't see what the fuck that said. Show me again! No, wait. I don't know what it said. Does anyone know what the headline said on top of Claude? I feel like there was like an announcement, and then I lost it. Damn it. Somebody go back through the VOD and get that for me. I mean, is the issue tracking thingies only work with Claude, or we could pick another solution and it's still going to work? I'm looking at some gotcha. Only Claude allows X. So acronym 0, no. The idea of giving a model an issue tracking manager or using different tracking systems rather than... oh, that's a good point. I should do that. Hold on one second. I will. That's just it's like an idea, right? Acronym 0, or like a practice. You can do that with any model. So for example, if you wanted to, you could use Codex and have it work with I don't know, Jira, right? Like, or create your own issue track. It's just the idea of a model relying on an issue tracking system is just a concept. It's just the idea of splitting that work. What is this? Oh, you found it. Oh, thank you. Appreciate that. I fucking love you guys. Thank you. What's up, Sheer Day? How's it going, buddy? Oh, shit. It was so fast. Okay, here we go. What's new? Added guard against launching Claude code inside another Claude code session. Added guard against launching Claude code inside another Claude code session. Does that mean that it won't ask me anymore to run Claude code? I hate it when the AI does that. It's like, can I run Claude? I'm like, bro, no. Yo, what's up, Fester? How's it going, buddy? Oh, so no more inceptions? No, there will be inceptions, but it's just, I think it's because they want people to use the agent teams feature that is rolling out, which I've already been using. So no, I think it's more so that fixed agent teams using wrong model identifier for bedrock verts. Yeah, see, I think they're really trying to focus on agent teams right now. Fix a crash when MCP tools return image content during streaming. Oh, interesting. I'm really hoping that was fixing the bug where it was creating 50 instances of itself that never shut down. Oh, really? Oh, that's bad, Tinker. What's up, Tinker, by the way? How's it going, dude? They needed money. Yeah, they just wrote it and added to the prompt. Just keep making instances. Just keep doing it. I use issue tracking with OpenCode. Nice. What was it that co-working thing launched? Here's $50 free API. Oh no, that's I think that was an older one. That $50 free API thing's been around for a little while. Yeah, which, I mean, yeah, you should capitalize on it if you can. So what is the problem that you want to solve? Create issues and manage them? Yeah, I mean, basically, like, I just want to tell Claude, like, hey, I need an issue for this, create it for me, and then it just does it. You know what I mean? I'm bad at, Jira like burns my skin whenever I use it. Like it's just like holy water against a demon, you know what I mean? Like I fucking hate Jira so much, dude. I hate it so much. So if I can make it more fun to use Jira, then my teammates would probably be happier. Just what my credit card needs, a Claude fork bomb. Hey dude, just do what I did. Throw in on the tube 20 times max. Claude subscribe. Oh, dude. Yeah, man, 75 gigabytes of memory usage, no terminals open. Oh, Jesus, that's insane. How can something be so bad that is used so much? Wait, what? What's up, Dry Cat Turd? How's it going, dude? Here's appropriately a name. The name comes from Godzilla. Oh, wait, really? I didn't know that. Wait a second. Can you add, like, if you run the build or it breaks, then create an issue? Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, there are people who are, like, making hooks for this now. Like, this is how, like, agents are being, like, yeah. What you just said, Cyrus, is exactly how people are using them today. Yeah. Oh, Jira. Yeah. I fucking hate it. I just wanted to fix the context percentage. For some reason, the context percentage keeps like getting out of sync. My current status line. What are you trying to do? Sonnet 4? Well, there's your problem, bro. Look at this noob using Sonnet 4.5. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. Saving money. Okay, so then you've got directory like me, branch like me. Cool. What is this? TD sidecar. I know, I'm just kidding you. I'm kidding with you, dude. What is oh, that what but like how is this, how are you showing this? Oh, that's cool that it actually shows you like how many tokens left. Yeah, I like that. I might steal that one. I might steal that one. I like the tokens left option. That's nice. BG, you need to watch this about deer. You will laugh so hard. Can I post it? Yeah, I'll watch it later, but yeah, I'm down. BG is why the AI is worried about Mosh and his support system. I made a Tinder, what is this? I made a Tinder style Jira sorter a while back using AI. Swipe direction, chose what team got a ticket. Okay, that's actually funny. Ran Nixflake update and apply 4 gigs to download. I mean, that's not bad, right? I don't trust Twitter, so let me just save this link and I'll open it later. I'm not kidding. I don't trust Twitter at all. Twitter is it's gotten pretty bad lately. No, I know that's not what I mean. I mean, like, is it safe? Okay, all right. I'll just pull it up then. Oh, I'm not logged in. Dope. All right. I'll watch that later. I was like, thank God. Nice. Okay, I'll watch that later. I wrote an MCP server for TD sidecar. Oh, okay, but like, how are you showing the MCP server? That's interesting. Creating a plan, iterating on the plan, putting the plan in issues allows run sunning a. So, yeah, exactly. Yeah, this is exactly why you do it. If you're wondering why you would use issue tracking system with models, this is why. Like what Rebukin basically said sums it up perfectly. You create a plan, right? So instead of just saying like, go do the thing, you tell the model, plan it out, like sit down, plan it out, think through everything, right? And then what you do is you say, hey, now create issues like you would in a normal job for all of the work, right? So then issues get created for all the work by the planning agent. And then at that point, you can clear the context, right? All of the work has been saved in the issue. So you can clear that context and just start from scratch. And then what you do is you say like, okay, now I want to run an agent and I want the agent just to, I want it to also have interactability with the issue tracking system. So it can go to the issue tracking system, figure out what's the most like readily available issue, pick that issue up, put it into progress so it like assigns it to itself basically, right? And then work on the ticket in its own context window, right? So it started from scratch, created its own context window, opened up the ticket, worked on the ticket, finishes the ticket, closed the ticket, right? And then you do the process again. You fire off another agent. And what I've been experimenting with is actually going as far as letting the AI conduct all of the ticket orchestration as well. That's something I've been doing lately where I actually, if you open up Claude, or if I open up Claude, not you, but if I open up Claude, I have a dev team skill now. And it's a pretty cool skill. I think Mosh also has a skill like this too. I think some of you guys have said you have a skill like this too. Oh, hold on one second. Be right back. 1 second, chat. Hold on. Sorry. So yeah, so the goal of this skill is to basically have 3 agents. You have a like team lead is what we'll call it, and the team lead is actually something specific to agent teams. So if you guys do not know what I'm talking about, trying to find it. Yeah, here it is. Too much smoke, yeah. Sometimes it's a little it's a little too hot. You know what I mean? And then it's too harsh. There we go. That's the word I was looking for. Big rip. Yeah. When I get deep into thought and stuff, it helps with the tism. So a team lead is a specific thing of Claude Code agent teams, right? And the idea here is that the team lead actually coordinates and communicates to each agent as it's running, right? And so this is a difference between you running it directly, you being like, Claude, and then like telling an agent to run, versus using a agent team. You talk to the team lead, and then the team lead talks to each agent. And again, what's really, really nice about this versus you manually creating the teams is you can even tell agents to do different things while they're running. And that's a little bit more difficult when you have like a whole bunch of different windows open and all that kind of stuff. And again, I'm going to show you, I don't have something like I can readily show you offhand. So give me a second, and then I'll be able to I'll be able to dispatch some agents and you'll be able to see it kind of all work and process. But effectively what I have done is I've built into Claude the ability to create a whole development team. That's the easiest way to put it. I have made Claude make development teams, which is kind of crazy. Okay. I just need to make sure that like all of my, yeah. I really need to figure out what text size this is. All right, so I'm going to close that out. We don't need that context anymore. We don't need this anymore. We'll take a look at that in a second. Okay. So I have been experimenting with agents. How many of you guys use agents? Tell you what, let me do, I want to do a quick poll because I kind of want to see here. Do you use agents? We'll say sub agents. Yes, not yet. Not yet. There we go. All right. Oh, there you go. You just do the poll. Just do the poll. Do you use sub agents? I'll say yes because obviously yes, I do. Agents use me. Whoa. So like a mother one that controls the, yes, exactly. So the MCP status line function runs a PS aux listing all available process on the system, does pattern matching on the process name and extracts the MCP from it. Probably too specific since I'm using NixOS and only, oh, okay. Interesting. I guess it's just a shell script at the end of the day, huh? Should we add an HR agent too? It would distract the rest of the agents with random questions about pizza days. Yeah. I use DOM agents. Yo, that was a good one. That was a good one. That was a good one. I appreciate that one. That one was funny. I'm the sub. Nice. A Python script. What is this? What are you sending me? Oh, did you actually make it so that your status line runs Python? I guess you could do that at the end of the day. That's crazy if you did. 0.5. I'm behind on AI. I tried with agents, but they ran somewhat sequentially. Is that bad? No. How come there is a no and I don't want to? Not yet. Yeah, you like that? Eventually you all will. Codex gives Claude tasks. Claude codes them. Codex audits, checks security, and asks for more tasks. But lots of manual things now. Why? That's interesting. Wait. I don't know. That's interesting that you use Codex to run Claude. What's up, Coder? By the way, how's it going, dude? Okay, so listen, if you're using, like I said not yet, because the reality of it is in my personal opinion, I shouldn't say the reality of it is. I should say in my personal opinion, eventually one day we'll all be using agents quite a bit. I think they're very, very powerful. And I think the more you kind of think about how you can utilize them, the less you have to do, right? Like skills are still something you have to run. But if you write an agent that like knows specific skills or does things in specific ways or focuses on specific things, then you just don't have to worry about that context overhead. You know what I mean? Like it'll handle that for you. It can handle that process. And so that's kind of what I've been doing. Like as a good example, if we go to my dot files, my Vorpal dot files, these are my Vorpal dot files. So if you guys want to see all of my agents and basically all of my Claude code stuff, just go to that directory, give it a star because I love you, and then click on agents or skills, and you'll be able to. That's the toll. All right, you have to star the thing to get the free stuff. All right, I'm kidding. But yeah, my project manager is in there, as well as my staff engineer, and I want you to know you can't just yoink these, right? Like you can yoink them, but you're gonna have to change them because they are very specific to my setup, right? You would only really have to go through it and read it and basically replace whatever's unique to me to whatever you want to change. Like for example, my project manager, I use a linear MCP, right? You're either going to replace it with another you know, linear, another MCP or issue tracking system that uses an MCP or something else, right? So, or you can use linear, you know, it's up to you. I yoinked them, didn't change it. Now I have another Vorpal. Nice. Hell yeah. I like the competition. And then I have skills in here as well. And right now, the only skill I have in here currently, see, that's not right though. Yeah, because I added the dev team skill. So the dev team skill is the skill that I'm telling you about that kind of works with all three agent or all two agents together. And this is the one that does the actual, you would, for this to work, you would have to enable the Claude Code experimental agent teams feature. So if you wanted to try the whole setup, basically like the dev team skill with the project manager and the staff engineer, and get it to work effectively the way I'm doing it, you'd have to make all those changes. Or have Claude make them for you, right? You could easily just tell Claude, these were all generated by Claude. So technically, you could just tell Claude, hey, I want you to update these files. And then, you know, that would actually be my best recommendation. It should take care of it pretty easily. But yeah, so anyways, I added a Kubernetes engineer, which I'm probably going to change a little bit. But a big reason why I have these agents are, again, they are specifically focused on doing and returning results in ways that I want it to, right? So when you use an agent just like this, like open up Claude and you just kind of talk to, oh my God, it did it again. What was it? I just fucking missed it again. I think I need to disable that feature. Somebody get me the VOD. God damn it. There was a new one. It was a new one, chat, and I missed it. All right, I gotta change accept edits. Ah, dude, but I don't want to. Why does accept edits? I don't give a shit if my real name is leaked. My real name's on my LinkedIn. You want to go say hi to my LinkedIn? What is your LinkedIn? I think that's it. Maybe, I don't know. It's on my LinkedIn. It's not that hidden. Damn it, dude. Can somebody tell me what that was? I think it's because of accept edits. But that's so annoying because I actually like accept edits on. Okay, you know what? Let's ask Claude. What was the announcement when I opened? Do I say you? Like when I opened you? What was the latest announcement in Claude Code? No, I don't actually post in that shit. I don't think I've ever posted in it. No, it doesn't say it. Harassment flagged by Claude Code. All right, well, damn. That sucks. That sucks wieners. I want to know what that said. Oh yeah, it's not showing up at all anymore. I wish you could, like, is there any way you could like re-show the announcement? Code review, init, SDK parity, add dir. Agents, Chrome, clear, color. Oh, that's cool. You can set the color bar. I didn't know you could do that. Config, context. Visualize current context as a colored grid. What? Wait, what? I've never seen this before. This is cool. System prompt, system tools, MCP tools, memory file, skills. Okay, so it's actually, oh God, dude, system tools are fucking heavy. You see the message to see that, wait, what? Sorry, what now? To see the message again, what? I have a crate, you have a crate, we all have crates, and cargo is the package manager of choice. What? Bro, LinkedIn is that annoying collage that is extreme. Wait, what? I don't know, Rust. What is the most famous package manager or VM manager is called there? You mean cargo? In crates? Flash release notes to see the message again. Oh! Nice. Oh, God. This isn't... No, I mean, okay. Kind of. No, this isn't really what I wanted, but it's fine. I just wanted to see what it said at the top. That's all. It's fine. Whatever. We got stuff to do. I got stuff I got to do. And besides, I really don't want to turn accept edits off. Okay. All right. So let me go ahead and push up these changes really quickly. Like I said, I added a Kubernetes engineer because I've been doing some stuff with like Kubernetes lately. And I wanted an agent that focused more on like utilizing the CLI as much as possible, because that's normally the best way you get results with Kubernetes, right? Like using kube control and all that kind of stuff. And so that's effectively what this agent focuses on. Like it focuses more on like interactive debugging and the tools that I use and stuff like that. And then I added a Rust engineer as well. I really didn't do anything for this one. I just kind of told Claude, hey, generate me a Rust engineer agent. And it did. I haven't really used it much. I don't really know if I will, but it's there. I mostly just use the staff engineer and the project manager. I don't really use the other two that much. Okay. So yes, I am going to open up Claude and I am going to do commit. Watch that MCP tool usage shoot up. Yeah. I mean, I don't know. I'm trying to keep it. That was one thing I noticed about context is like, you'll notice that once you start, yeah, see my context like jumping. That's context being added. Are you concerned about using kube control to reveal secrets? Because it will. No, I'm not. However, it could. The easiest way to get around that, Silver Slurpee, is I'll show you. So to be fair, this is how you would do it if you were configuring your stuff with Vorpal, but basically, hold on, actually, since that'll be confusing for you. Let me do Claude settings.json. There we go. So in here, you'll see that I've got like permissions allow, and I have a pretty big list here, right? These are all things that like, as I've built with Claude over time, I've been like, you know what? These are all things I allow it to do. There's also denies, right? So what I would recommend doing if you are really worried about that, which is totally fair, then I wouldn't even do that. I think telling it not to via the Claude MD is like good, right? And remember, you know, it's not going to run any command without your permission unless you set it to like auto run and just go crazy, right? So no, I'm not worried about it because I never approved those commands. You know what I'm saying? And I haven't been worried about it because I've never approved those commands. But if you wanted to make it so that it was like never asking you about it, you could go in here and I think you would just be like bash kube control, like get maybe like secret, right? And then, you know, put all the secret stuff in there, right? And then you never have to worry about it, right? But I don't ever approve those things, so I'm not really worried about it too much. Get pull rebase main noise, and let me do a quick Vorpal build. So we are going to be building something entirely from scratch with Claude today. I have a tool that I need built that kind of solves like a very unique problem. And we're gonna basically build it on stream today. It's something that's actually needed for work, but I can effectively just build it with my repos as well. I've definitely seen it echo out my Kubernetes secrets in the log. I mean, then that must have mean, Tinker, that you approved a command that was effectively like a describe or something like that. You know what I mean? Because I've never had it do anything that I didn't tell it to do. Nice. Okay, cool. All right, so everything should be up to date now. I'm going to go ahead and close this Claude just to make sure that I have no sessions running. Okay, so I'm going to be working on a few different tasks in parallel, which is going to be kind of crazy. I'm going to be working on 2 separate branches for Vorpal. And then I'm also going to be working on this new tool that I told you guys that I need effectively for work. So I'm going to create a new directory. I'm going to call it GitHub exporter.git. And then I'm just going to do git init. I did not mean to do that. Damn it. Git init bear, because we want a bear repository. And then we're going to do add main. And then we're going to do add feature initial implementation. Cool. All right, so I have a brand new project called GitHub Exporter initial implementation. There's literally nothing here. And then I have 2 existing projects. So what I want to do first is I actually want to set up this project in a unique way. So I'm like 99.99999% confident Claude doesn't know anything about you don't share the Claude config for the CLI and the repo. What do you mean? I share everything. It's all in there. You mean my status bar? My status bar is in there too. It's in there too. I don't think Claude knows anything about Vorpal. You mentioned a blacklisting. Is there a whitelisting? Yes, you can equivalently deny and approve things if you want. So I have a big list. If I go to .files.vorpal really quickly, and then I go to, actually, no, I'm sorry, not there. If I go to the file itself. There we go. You'll see that I have an allow list, but then at the bottom, I also have a deny list. So it won't ever like read like secret files that look like this, for example. Right. So yeah, you can tell it to do all of that. What's up, Lil Boo? How's it going? Okay. So like I said, I don't think it knows anything about Vorpal. So the one caveat to all of this is, I am going to set it up with Vorpal out of the box, right? And that's actually pretty straightforward. It's pretty easy. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to do Vorpal init. And then I'm going to call it GitHub exporter. I'm going to choose Go as the language, and then, yep, there we go. We're all set up. So I've got Go, I've got command Vorpal, got my main GitHub exporter entry point. So I should be able to just do Vorpal build path GitHub exporter shell. And then I should be able to create my dev shell for the project with Vorpal. Yes, I'm looking for the Claude.json file, which has settings. I'll check harder. You don't share the Claude config. I guess I'm looking for the Claude.json file. Oh, yeah, I'm not sharing that file. You can't share that file. That file has secrets and shit in it, unfortunately. And it changes it constantly. My startup just won $5,000 in a hackathon. Oh shoot! Congrats, Lil Boo. Oh no, it's thanks to you. You did it. That's awesome, though. I just appreciate you being a part of the community, Lil Boo. Congratulations. That's awesome. What was the project, if you don't mind me asking? Like, what did you do? All right. So if I do source, there we go. Now I have my dev shell, and I should be able to do go get you like that. Hey, there we go. Nice. And we'll just update all the packages. So I've effectively created like a bootstrapped environment. I am going to make one small little change as well, which is I'm just going to change this to right now we'll change it to Alt F4 LLC GitHub exporter, but technically this will be something for my work. So we'll just do go mod tidy. So the only thing I haven't had the AI do is I haven't had it set up the initial project, right? So if I do feature initial project setup, I effectively just set up the build system. That's really it. Vorpal is the thing that builds all of the software that I create these days. Effectively, it's a build tool that I made myself. And so I'm just adding a build configuration for Vorpal, as well as setting up a basic Go project. So like, you know, the equivalent of like Go mod init, but then also Vorpal init in one command effectively. This song reminds me of long coding hours. Yeah, dude, that's kind of one of the reasons why we listen to what we listen to. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually grab, if I can, I go to .files.vorpal.git main agents.md. I'm gonna copy an agents.md from my .files, right? So I effectively have an agents.md file that I put in every project outside of a Claude.md, right? So I will have Claude initialize on this project, right? But before I do that, I add the agents.md with all of the like linear MCP like knowledge and stuff like that. Can anyone guess why I do that? Can anyone guess why I add the agents.md before I basically do Claude init? Any ideas, chat, on why I do that? Like I said, I have an agents.md file to tell it the structure and location of stuff, so it can reference it without pulling it into the Claude.md. So yeah, technically Tinker is right in this case. M. Valdez, you are right? But Claude.md would do a lot of that for me. The point of me adding the agents.md first is to kind of give it context outside of the repository on how it's supposed to work, right? Like if I do a Claude init on the repo, it won't know how issue tracking works unless there's a file in the repo that talks about issue tracking, right? So it won't know how to do issue tracking unless I tell it and instruct it in some way or shape or form. Now I can do that with agents, sure, right? But the agents.md file also just adds more to the context to make sure that it knows, like, when you do stuff, this is how you work, right? And so this is something that you can easily move between computers effectively, right? Like say if one system didn't have, you know, the skills that another system had, if this agents.md is there, then it will still always know about it. So because this is here, now when I do Claude and then I do /init, right? It's going to see that file exists and it should reference it. But no matter what, the agents.md is always loaded in there. So it's just like a little bit of extra context to give the model to be like, hey, this is how we do issue tracking, right? Okay, so the only thing I've done in this project so far, like I said, is I've effectively just set up the bare bones project with Go and Vorpal. So it's a very simple Go project. It has a main.go. Here you go. So if we go to main.go, it's a very simple hello world project. It doesn't really do anything else, right? But then if we go to Vorpal, you'll see that I have my whole Vorpal configuration so that I actually can build it and have my own dev environment, you know, and all that stuff. All right, so it looks like it made the Claude.code file. I now have a clear picture of the project. Okay, cool. So it created it. Now I'm going to really quickly, I would imagine a lot of you guys probably just like do init and then go about your day. And that's okay. Like you could totally do that. Most of the times that's fine. However, I'm looking in the init right now because I want to actually make sure that the init does have a reference to the agents.md file in it. Do I have to do this? No, but it just adds a little bit more of like direction so that the agent knows, hey, if you ever think about issue tracking, here, you know, reference this file. So I'm going to say update the Claude.md file to include information about referencing the agents.md file for issue tracking. Right? So this is kind of the hook between Claude and my agents.md file. There you go. That's all I needed. That's literally all I needed, was just something that says, hey, if you're issue tracking, see the agents.md file. I didn't need to add a bunch of stuff to the Claude code file or anything like that. I just simply needed to make sure that in here, if it talks about agents or issue tracking, right, we do all that. So now I'm going to say feature, setup, agents .md and Claude.md. And actually we'll call this docs because that's technically what this is. Cool. Okay, so now I have like a little bit of a project going on right now. I could technically just do like go build -o GitHub exporter and then command GitHub exporter. And then if I do GitHub exporter, hello world, there we go. So there's my app, right? So I've effectively, like I said, just set up the project for my project builder, right? The thing that's going to build all my code and manage it and all that kind of stuff, right? And then I also set it up with AI using my agents file, right? Which again talks about all of my linear stuff. And again, if you're curious about this agents file, it is available in my .files repo. Feel free to, you know, show it some love if you want to. But basically, if you click on the agents file, it'll load. Come on. ABG, do you still use the platform directory for managing your infra? I wanted to understand how you're using it or managing Cloud Infra using Flex and Argo together. Not sure if you're still doing that though. Yeah, I am. I still do it. Okay, I don't know why, but like GitHub just breaks in tabs sometimes. I don't know if anybody else deals with this, but do you notice how when I opened it up in a brand new tab, it loaded immediately? Is it private? I couldn't see it. It is private right now, though. Honestly, that's a ticket we need to figure out. We need to figure out how to... I've been trying to figure out how to get you guys access to... I don't think there's anything in here that's sensitive. Yeah, no, there's nothing in here that's sensitive. This is my usage, by the way, chat. I keep this like open all the time now. Yeah, I still use it. I'm trying to figure, long story short, Critzy, if you're a subscriber to the channel, I'm trying to figure out a way to make it so subs can get access to those repos and those files and stuff automatically. I just don't have a solution for it yet. So yeah, but I'm working on it. All right, I am working on it. It's gotta take some time with everything else that I got going on. I'm so noob at this whole set of file what does what for agents. That's fine. That's what I'm here for, you my dude. That's why I'm here. In the Redux OS philosophy, everything is a URL is sort of interesting approach outside of repo files. Redux is the Rust-based OS that may or may not be vaporware, but I did like the everything is a URL idea. The biggest thing that I find annoying with this AI is how many markdown files we are doing in projects. So now if a JS project, there are a ton of markdown files and a ton of config files. I mean, that's kind of where we've been headed for a while now. Dude, there's a YouTube video on it. Yeah, there's a YouTube video on it. What is your YouTube? There's actually a YouTube video on it. Yeah, so if you go to the main channel, it flopped. Unfortunately, this video completely flopped because I uploaded it like 4 months ago, and I think it's more just because the title looks really fucking cheesy. Okay, somebody at my door. But this video is the video that talks about service direct or platform directory. Give me 1 second though, chat. Somebody's at my door. I don't know who it is. Not me just getting my brand new 32 terabyte hard drive and literally almost dropping it when the guy gave it to me. He caught it, dude. Oh my God. That's a $600 hard drive that I literally almost just fucking dropped on the floor. Cause he gave it to me with one hand and cause my earphone was like messing up. So I was like trying to fix it and he was like, here you go. And, I'm not even kidding you. He put it in my hand and it like flung up into the air and I was like, oh, like you literally heard me go, oh no. And then like he caught it and I was just like, oh my God, thank you so much. $600 hard drive, dude. In one individual $600 hard drive, 32 terabytes. Like, if it had been like a normal, just small hard drive, I probably wouldn't have cared as much. But that one would have hurt for sure. That one would have definitely hurt. Yeah, so anyways, that YouTube video, the one that like really didn't perform super well, unfortunately, which like, hey, if you guys want to show this video some love, I would really appreciate it. It's actually a very good video. This is where I talk about platform directory, manifest flux, and Kubernetes, and then I even go into like how I use it with manifests in general and Terraform and like this video breaks. If any of you have ever been wondering how platform directory works, this video is the video. Like, I made that video for you. Almost fell asleep reading the title. That's the thing, is I think I need to go back and like update the title and like kind of rework it a bit. I dropped it really quickly and then I was just like, eh. But I think it needs, I honestly think it needs a whole new like revamp. I think it needs a new title. I think it needs a new thumbnail. But everything I talk about in there, it literally goes over, and it's only like a 15-minute video. It's not very long. Just imagine it was a 32 SSD hard drive. How much? I don't even think that's possible. Sure, I genuinely do not think that's possible, but I could be wrong. In which I wonder in such a situation, there's a point between you paying and you walking away when you could argue whose hard drive just dropped off. Yeah, fair enough, right? Try this changes everything. Yeah, you think that should be the title? A title and just massive fucking clickbait title. Are we getting another hype train, dude? For reals? For real right now, my brother? For real? Oh my god, dude. Thank you so much. I appreciate you guys. You guys have been so sweet. Holy crap. Okay, so check it out, chat. Brand new project. Vorpal is what I'm using to build it with. Again, Vorpal build. I should also be able to do Vorpal build GitHub exporter. There we go. Look at Vorpal go, baby. If you're like, what is Vorpal? Hey, guess what? What is Vorpal? There you go, baby. So I feel like I need to rename. I feel like I need to change that too. I wrote that so long ago. Vorpal's a build system. It's a build. Actually, I think Claude did a really good job of describing Vorpal. I think Claude actually did a better job of describing Vorpal than I did. Yeah, here we go. Vorpal is a language-agnostic, declarative, reproducible build system. Users define build artifacts using Rust or Go SDKs, and Vorpal executes them hermetically across Mac OS and Linux. See, that sounds dope. I couldn't have written that, but that sounds cool. That sounds like a project I'd be interested in. Quark needs to die at some point. Jeez, dude. No. What? Dude, you know what's funny? I have been slowly thinking about adding AI to Quark. But that's Mosh. Why, my dude? Why? Yeah, Quark is like, no, it's the whole community's baby, man. Like, Quark's been around forever. Okay. All right, so let me go over here. Let's get some stuff cooking while we work on the more like difficult stuff. So that's one thing I've noticed about working with LLMs is you want the agents or the coding agents to be working on the stuff that's easy and can kind of run in the background while you're working on other things that are more complicated. Like, give the agent the easy tasks and then you work on the hard task either by yourself or with like another agent or whatever, right? So let's talk about some of the stuff we can get started with right now. So I am currently working on adding a feature to Vorpal. It's a small feature. It's nothing like super crazy, but it's just something that I personally wanted that you can't really do right now with Claude. And the idea is like sometimes I want to be one-on-one using Claude directly in a project and, you know, be done with it. Or sometimes like I just want to run a long running process. Like I want Claude to like do a whole bunch of stuff and whatever. And I don't really want to have to manage a whole bunch of shell and terminals to do that across multiple projects, right? So you can run Claude in multiple instances in one project. But the moment that you want to actually use Claude in another project, you have to open up a new Claude instance, right? That's the problem I'm basically trying to solve. And so oh, dude, Lopsided, thank you for the 21 months, bro. I appreciate that. You know, I was bored and I was like, you know what? I wonder how well Claude could do this. And so I added a new command to Vorpal called Vorpal Agent. It's not there yet. It hasn't been merged yet, but Vorpal Agent basically fires off this TUI. So Claude built this entire TUI, this entire user interface, like all of the help menu, the welcome menu, like all of this was written by Claude. The entire thing was written by Claude. It really just allows me to run Claude anywhere I want, whenever I want, and gives me output on what Claude does. Right. So what I can do is I can hit the end key once I open up the manager, and I can just immediately give it a prompt and tell it where I want that prompt to be ran. Right. So I can say like, all right, this is my prompt and I want it to be ran in this directory. So for example, if I wanted to do code review on a bunch of different stuff, I can say like .files, .vorpal, you know, / code review. Now, if I wanted to, I could even customize this further. So if I hit Control E, it opens up another set of options specific to Claude, setting like the permission mode, which model, the effort. If you want to make sure it doesn't spend like $1,000 doing something, you can easily set a max budget. The allowed tools. So this is also really nice if you're like, you know, I want to run a one-off, you know, Claude instance or whatever, and I know exactly what it's going to do. So I'm going to say, you know, let's allow it to do like bash commit, right? And then it'll only be, even though I set the permission mode to default, which means that these commands should fail by default, I can provide it in this one fire of, you know, Claude, the tools I want it to allow. Same thing with directories. If I say like, oh, I want to add like a specific directory or path or something like that to Claude, I can do that too. But for now, I'm just going to set everything to default and I'm just going to run it, right? Oh, let me, hold on. That might have been a bug. Okay, so we'll do / code review. And we'll change this to .files, .vorpal. Oh, spawn failed to open. Oh, wait, why does it think Claude is not available right now? I think my shell might have borked. This is a very old shell. Let me reopen all my shells. Oh, so many shells. Stream left. Okay. What was I in again? I was in Vorpal agents, right? Okay. So agent. If this doesn't work, then there might be a bug that I introduced. / code review .files. Oh, yeah, it's weird. Failed to spawn Claude process. Yeah, so I guess there's a bug. Let me try this one more time. Oh, okay. So there might be a bug with the directory changing, but yeah, there you go. So I'm going to run it in the current directory for now. But yeah, it effectively runs a agent. So it's, you know, it's running Claude underneath the hood. It's actually running Claude and it's getting streamed output from Claude as it's doing things. So in a way, this is a live stream wrapper around Claude that you can easily, you know, execute into, you know, multiple things. So even if I wanted to do, I don't know, 2 different things in the same project, I could then just hit a new or hit N again to open up a new prompt. And then, you know, I could do code review again if I wanted to. I don't really need to, but then you can see now I have 2 agents running in the same thing, right? And then I could do code review again. Like I said, I'm very curious as to why when I change it to .files, .vorpal.get. Oh, maybe because it doesn't exist. Oh, okay. I understand why that error is happening now. There we go. Yeah. So now I'm doing a code review in a completely different project. So here I'm doing a code review in my current project. Here I'm doing it same thing. If I wanted to, I can just cancel that. Now that's no longer going. And so now I'm doing a code review in 2 different projects simultaneously, all in the same window. And another thing that's nice about this tool that I'm really building it for myself, but I can respond as well. So even though it's like a one-off Claude instance that's being ran, I can respond to it. So later on, once it's finished, I can easily, you know, respond and say like, I don't know, do this or do that. And I can change the permissions on the response as well. I just learned AI companies are paying content creators get you some money. Oh yeah. I'm good. I appreciate that though. Hey BG, do you use the Weave Terraform controller at all? I do not. No, I do not. Nice. So again, long story short, this is the tool that I'm building. It's not really important to show you, every single thing about it. I just wanted you to see that this is what Claude has been effectively vibe coding itself for quite a while now. I want to add some features to it. And so what I did was I talked to Claude one day and I said, hey, Claude, why don't you make a whole bunch of features around the agent TUI and making it like improving it basically, right? I wasn't really happy with how the agent TUI looked before this. Like we didn't have this welcome screen and the prompt didn't look like this and work like this and stuff. Like it just wasn't really like super user friendly because I built it myself, or I built it with Claude without a lot of direction. So yes, I told Claude, hey, I want you to do something. I just realized you have become the idea guy who can't code. No, I mean, I can still code, but that's fair. But yeah, so it was one thing to tell Claude, hey, I just want you to like build this thing, right? But then after I told it to build this thing, I was like, you know what? Now that you've built the thing, think about it from this angle and then rework it. I didn't tell it to do everything at once. I told it to like do things in stages. Like, hey, just do this first. And then once we get there, we'll focus on this or focus on that or focus on that, right? And I really do think that like that's the way you use AI. I think if you try and just get it to do a whole bunch of things at once, it's going to confuse it and then it becomes problems, right? So what I did was I told Claude to look at the code, look at everything, and provide like as many critical improvements that we can make to the TUI so that we can make it better, right? So that we can make it so that if a developer uses it, they'll want to use it again, right? Like developer adoption and stuff like that, right? And so it did a pretty good job. Like I said, it added this whole welcome page. It improved the drop down, so it wasn't just like one thing, but if you want to just run quick, you can run quick, and then if you open it, you can have more customization. Like I actually liked that. I was like, okay, that's a pretty good UI change. It improved the entire like help menu here. It also added a terminal as well. So down here at the bottom, you'll see that if I hit the colon key, I can also use this. And then it just opens up the prompt again. Like it did a lot, dude. Like I'm very impressed with what it's done so far. And so what I've been doing as well is this has all been autonomous. I literally just tell Claude, hey, run the dev team, and then it does its thing. Like that's really it, man. It's really been Claude doing everything for this entire like agent TUI thing that I've been kind of playing with here. It even has themes, so it can go from light mode to dark mode, which is kind of funny. Like I didn't even tell it to do that, but it did. What libraries do you use for that? I don't know. I have no idea. Mosh, I have no idea. I know that it's using Ratatouille, and I know that it's using what was the other one? They know that it's also using cross term. Yeah, yeah, it's using Ratatouille, and it's using cross term, and it's using like some other stuff as well. Yeah. Well, then fucking ask the AI then. So yeah, like dude, and this is a pretty deep, like I don't know if I would have been able to make as better of a result. I really do, because like I personally, I don't know anything about TUIs in Rust, at least. Like I've never built a TUI in Rust, so even though I might know some about like TUIs in general and stuff like that, not Rust. Like not Rust at all. So it built the entire TUI. It knew like what packages to use, and all of this was planned, right? So it wasn't me just saying, hey, fill the context, but like if we go back and we look at like the done, you'll see that there are tons of tickets here that I've effectively like added to build this out to where it is now. You know what I mean? But this like ticket based approach is really powerful. Let me show you why. All right, so here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna open up Claude. I'm gonna keep it in accept edits mode. I'm gonna keep that set to that, right? The main reason why I'm gonna keep that is because I want this session to be effectively completely powered by AI. I don't really want to do anything at all. And I'm gonna go and I'm gonna say I'm gonna use my skill dev team. Now remember, dev team is effectively going to create me an entire development team. And what I'm gonna do is I'm going to have a development team work on a series of these issues that are still available in this big like improvement roadmap. Now again, it wrote the roadmap, right? So I haven't really told it to do anything. I'm just telling it to work through the roadmap. That's really all I'm doing. So if we go to the road, or if we go to our tickets, we'll see that the next thing that's available is a whole bunch of features, right? Like we've got a whole bunch of features, but there is a differentiator here, which is these features have like priority to them. It even prioritized them where it said like, hey, these are higher priorities than not. So we have a whole bunch of features that are kind of medium priority, right? I'm very curious on what some of these features are. So modern TUI tools, LazyGit, K9s, BTOP all support mouse interaction. While keyboard first is correct, mouse support for common actions is a quality of life improvement. All right, I don't disagree with that. Mouse support should be optional. Click on tabs to switch agents, scroll wheel for scrolling content, click on input form fields to focus them. Okay, I mean, yeah, that's fine. I'm fine with that change. Add toggleable agent sidebar panel to replace tab bar. The tab bar is a power. It's just so easy to vibe code a tool for everything. Well, so here's the thing though, dude. You know, I'm not really writing anything right now. I'm just looking at what it's proposing to change, right? And then I'm going through and just kind of being like, yeah, like if I didn't want any of these changes before I run this entire like dev team, I would just tell it what I don't want. Like, again, I don't know. I really think this issue approach is a game changer. I think it's a massive game changer, at least for me. It's made it so I can work on so many different things at once. Once like I get it all, you know, ready to go effectively, right? Once I've reviewed the plan, right? Then it just runs everything and it gives me exactly what I wanted. What about like about TD Sidecar? You could just share the project folders with another person or check them into Git. Oh, okay. That's cool. So add toggleable agent sidebar panel to replace tab bar. The tab bar is a simple horizontal list that does not scale beyond approximately 6 agents. A sidebar panel, similar to the K9's resource panels or TMUX session list, would show richer agent information. Vorpal's value proposition is running many agents simultaneously. The current tab only in navigation becomes unwieldy with more than a handful of agents. All right, sure. I'll let you go on that one. I don't know where we're gonna go, but why not? Add savable agent templates for common configurations. Users often spawn agents with the same patterns: reviewer with plan mode, builder with bypass permissions. Templates would eliminate repetitive form building, inspired by Warp Drive and Claude Code custom / commands. Wait, so how would this work? Okay, this is interesting. Are we reviving QuirkBot with the... We could. We definitely could. Users can save the current agent configuration as a named template. Pressing aim N shows a template picker with the saved built-in templates. Okay, that's pretty dope. That is actually pretty dope. Okay, I'll let you... I'm not going to write it. Why do I give a shit? Add split pane view to show 2 agents side by side. Yes. That's a good feature. I like that feature. Add persistent prompt history with up arrow. Yes, that's a feature I've actually already tried using and it wasn't there. Add individually collapsible tool results sections in output. Currently, tool results are globally controlled by the R. Users should be able to collapse individual tool results. So how do you do this? Pressing enter on a tool result header toggles only that section. Collapse section. Should we do this? Global R still works and resets all sections to the new global mode. Oh, okay. Yeah, I don't mind that then. Damn, dude. It's really thought about the develop. Like, it's... Fuck, dude. We're cooked. It's really thinking about the developer experience here. Like, it's pretty good. Add cumulative token usage tracking and display to agent TUI. So you can see cumulative input out. Oh, dude, this was one I was going to tell it to make. Oh my God. Dude, I'm not even kidding. This was an issue I was going to tell it to make because once we started being able to run multiple sessions. So like here, let me show you, right? Say hello. I'm just going to tell it to say hello. It's a lot of work. Just, yeah, there you go. Hello, how can I help you today? So with Vorpal agents, right, you can hit the S key and then respond, right? And so I could say, I'm doing well. How are you? Right? And now it's running against that previous. You see what I'm saying? I can continue a conversation as well with Vorpal agents, right? And you can see here, I'm reusing that same session every single time. So Vorpal agents does work with Claude sessions, so that if you want to go back and like revisit a session or talk, you know, like whatever, you can easily do that. That's 100% possible. This will make it so that the tokens usage across all sessions will be calculated properly, basically. So that's good. That was one thing I really wanted. Add an inline diff view for edit write tool results. Seeing exactly what the agent has changed is the core review loop. Currently, tool results show raw text. That's pretty good. Yeah. Feature. Okay, and I think that's the last one. Yeah, that's the last medium feature. So I actually, before I do this, I want to add a couple of other issues I wanted to work on. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to just open up Claude really quickly. I'm going to, what? I am using high effort. I was like, I'm already using high effort. What? Okay, so I'm going to say, hey, project manager, plan for adding an improvement to Vorpal agent TUI, which shows the latest line of output from a collapsed section instead of the first. All right, so I'm gonna explain what this is really quickly. I'm gonna go back into the agent TUI. I'm gonna open up a prompt, then I'm gonna say read the vorpal.toml and summarize it, right? Just gonna do something simple. I'm just gonna say, hey, read the vorpal.toml file in my repo and summarize it, right? The main reason why I'm doing that is because you'll see this right here. See this read? This is a tool call, right? So this is Vorpal identifying that Claude made a tool call, and you can actually look at it. So if I hit the R key, you'll see that it's like 22 bytes of data that it read, which I think eventually I want to change this into tokens instead, which maybe we'll make another ticket for that too. But you'll see here that when I hit the R key, there's 3 different modes. There's the fully opened mode, which is this one right here, right? If I hit it again, you'll see that it's collapsed. So it only shows like the first 3 lines, right? And then it shows 6 more lines hidden. And then if I hit R again, then it just shows me the bytes are to cycle view option, right? The problem is when you're in collapse mode like this, you only get to see the first 3 lines. But if there's more lines happening, I'd rather see those last 3 lines as they're happening rather than just the first 3 lines, right? So I'm going to tell the project manager to plan. I'm going to say plan in linear for adding an improvement to the Vorpal agent TUI, which shows the latest latest line of output from a collapse section instead of the first. And then I think it's in compact mode. Yeah. So of a collapse section, we'll say in compact mode. instead of the first 3 lines. So project manager plan in linear for adding an improvement to the Vorpal agent TUI, which shows the latest line of output from a collapse section in compact mode instead of the first 3 lines. Okay, so I'm going to hit enter and I'm going to run that, right? So what we should end up happening is I should see some new tickets in linear pop up here, or at least one ticket. I'll use the dev team skill to orchestrate this work with the project manager. So I'm going to just stop it really quickly because my dev team skill is very, very new. And I think it accidentally triggered when I didn't want it to. Do not do any work, only planning. Just to make sure that it knows not to run a whole dev team. Damn it, it did it again. I'll use the dev team skill to have the project manager plan this in linear. Okay, maybe it's just creating a team in general then. But that's better. Do you just spawn a whole fleet of agents to do it all at the same time? Yes. That's exactly what I do, 715209. Yes. That's literally exactly what the dev team skill is for. The dev team skill has a project manager inside of it, right? You are the project manager, your job is to decode work, and yeah, so there you go. So now it's going to effectively create all of the tickets. It's going to use the staff manager or the staff engineers to, you know, use any technical, you know, whatever it needs, like all that stuff. Okay, so while that's happening, I'm gonna let that run in the background, right? Like, think of this kind of like a cooking show. That's cooking. We're gonna let that cook, right? And then I'm gonna go into the next thing, which is the optional TLS project that I'm also working on. So in this branch, I am working on TUI changes for the Vorpal agent TUI command. In this branch, I'm working on adding and removing, or making it so that a couple of things. 1, TLS is optional, and 2, that Vorpal can listen on a socket rather than just an IP address. I think where we left off was I was here for a code review. So while this is running in the background and creating all the issues for that, I'm going to run a code review, my stage changes on the optional TLS stuff. And I'm going to let that run. Now, while that's running, we're going to let that cook. That's going to cook over there. Now we're going to go back to our GitHub exporter project. I'm going to open up 2 tabs. Basically, I open up 2 tabs per project. One for my Claude instance, which is, again, kind of another reason why I want Vorpal, because then I could close all of these additional tabs and just have 1 tab per project. But anyways, so again, I've got Claude working over here, creating my issues. I've got Claude over here reviewing my code. And so now what I want to do is I want to open up Claude again, or actually let me source this really quickly. You might notice linear jumping around in the background. And that's because it's creating those tickets. There they are. All right, so there you go. So project manager's working, code review's working. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to open up Claude again, and I'm going to say project manager. Plan creating a CLI tool which exposes, we'll call them custom metrics or data for repositories in GitHub. The goal is to be able to run something like GitHub exporter, and then I think I said Docker file from, to show the to show all Docker images being used in a Docker file. We'll say for auditing purposes. The goal is to be able to run something like GitHub exporter Docker file from to show all from used in a Docker file used in the from for other stages of a Docker file. So, okay, this is something I've technically already built this once before, so I kind of know what I'm doing. But let me check on this really quickly. Okay, cool. Our stuff got finished. Our other thing got finished, so I'll get back to that in a second. So the goal here is I want to be able to effectively run a CLI tool like GitHub exporter or something like that. And it should be able to effectively go to a repository in the cloud, like on github.com or locally if it's in like a local directory, and load the Docker file and then list me out. Just give me the list of all of the images being used in that Docker file. I don't need to know about images like stages being reused. I just need to know the raw images in that Docker file. And there's a reason why we're going to do that, but we first need to do that, right? And so what I'm telling the project managers, I'm saying only plan creating a CLI tool. We'll say a Go CLI tool, which exposes custom metrics or information about repositories in GitHub for auditing purposes. The goal is to be able to run something like to show all Docker images being used in the from field or other stages of a Docker file. This should be able to run in the base of a repository, right? Or use the GitHub CLI or GitHub API to get the data, I guess. I don't know. So, okay, project manager, plan creating a Go CLI tool. We'll just say Go CLI. Go CLI, which exposes custom metrics or information about repositories in GitHub for auditing purposes. The goal is to be able to run something like GitHub exporter Docker file from to show all. All right, I'm gonna make this a little bit better because you got to remember I'm trying to make it so that it does a lot of the work for me. I know you're talking about something else, but literally the same thing. The goal is to be able to run something like the following. You know, and then we'll say GitHub exporter Node.js package or Node.js. I want to say package engine is what it is, right? Isn't it like the engine? Node.js package.json engine. Yeah. Which will provide the engines supported for a repository. So 2 commands I want Claude to make, at least. The first one is the Docker file from, where basically we're getting all of the Docker images being used in the from field or other stages of a Docker file. This should be able to run in the base. Okay, and so I'm going to take this because this applies to everything now. So that's the first command I want. You guys understand why I want that command? Again, this is entirely from an auditing perspective, but the idea is I need to be able to know which versions of our services are being built in the cloud, right? And I need to know in the source code what those versions are, right? So I'm making an auditing tool that really makes it so I can do this, right? This should be able to run in the base of a repository or use the GitHub to API data. And if run, yeah, we'll just do that. That's fine. Yeah, so this should be able to, we'll add some acceptance criteria. think that's how you spell it. I don't know. This should be able to run in the base of a repository or use the GitHub CLI to get the data. This should use GitHub application authentication when using the GitHub API to get data. I think that's mostly all I care about. Important. Ask any design specific questions before beginning planning to make sure our goals are aligned. That's also really important, okay? I am telling Claude to make an entire project from scratch. All right? So this is the whole, can it do it, you know, directly from scratch? And I think it can. I think it just needs a little help by our friend Linear, right? Or our friend issue tracking system, right? So what I'm going to tell the project manager, which is an agent that I made to do, is I'm saying, hey, project manager, only plan creating a Go CLI which exposes custom metrics or information about repositories in GitHub for auditing purposes. The goal is to be able to run something like the following: GitHub export or Docker file from to show all the Docker images being used in the from field or other stages of a Docker file. This allows me to be able to audit. We'll say this allows me to be able to quickly audit a repository for what version of something it may be running, right? And then GitHub exporter Node.js package engine, which will provide the engine supported in the repository. This will provide me or I'll say this allows me to be able to quickly identify which engines are supported in a given repository. The acceptance criteria is this should be able to run in the base of a repository or use the GitHub API to get data. And this should use GitHub application authentication when using the GitHub API to get data. Important, ask any question specific or any design specific questions before beginning planning to make sure our goals are aligned. Cool. Okay. Yes, yeah, exactly. You must create linear and everything else. So you're not really using an IAC pipeline at work with what platform directory does. The pipeline connects to it. Also for the CLI, let the GitHub repo name be an input, maybe. I think I have a feeling it's going to do that, Whisper. That's a good call out. Does anyone have any other suggestions or anything like that you feel like I should add? I feel like this is good. I feel like this is enough. I gave it the two commands I wanted to make. I gave it pretty solid definitions around those two commands, right? Yeah, make no mistakes. Don't fuck it up. I think this is good, right? I think this is good. So what's going to happen? This is a brand new project. So let me explain to you how Claude is going to be a kick-ass project manager and plan everything for me basically in Linear. So in Linear, I have an agents team, right? So if you look here on the left, I have multiple teams like agents, company, content. So that's one thing to note. I do not let Claude just write in any part of my Linear. There's like one specific part of Linear it's allowed to work in, and that's all it's allowed to work in. If I go to projects, you'll see that projects represent my repositories that I've worked in. And this is actually what's really nice is I can even go into like a specific repo and I can see like how far along are we. Like, so here's all the issues related to that repo. You can see I've done a lot of work on Vorpal with agents, right? I can go to platform directory. I can see some of the issues I've worked on there, adding an MCP server and stuff like that. I can even click on an issue and see like what the comment was and how it finished it. Like, again, this works entirely like a real developer environment, right? So what it's going to do is it's first going to go out to Linear and it's going to ask itself the question, hey, does this project exist? And it won't. GitHub exporter's not in this list. So what it's going to do is it's going to create GitHub exporter in that list. And then it's going to make sure that any tickets it creates, it will get created under that project, right? You'll see Vorpal here for the Vorpal project, right? Then what it'll do is it'll write the whole ticket and it'll create it in like the epic format. So it'll have like one big ticket and then all the other tickets get attached to that. So I can even see when it does a whole bunch of work, like how it's, you know, setting up all the work and all that stuff. It'll give it a label of like feature, and then it'll give it a priority too of like high or not, right? And so you can see here, this was my issue. Remember how I said I wanted, if we go to here, yeah, here we go. So this was my first one where I said plan compact mode improvement in linear, right? So it created 2 tickets. No, it created 3 tickets. The main parent issue, right? And then the implementation issue, and then the testing issue, right? So I should be able to go into linear AGT 94. So I'm going to go into linear. That's 95. 95, 94. Here it is. Yep. So improvement, show latest line instead of the first 3 lines in compact tool result. Summary, change the compact tool result and the agent to show the most recent line of output. Yep, that's exactly what I wanted. Motivation, execution order, files touched. Like it tells me everything, right? And then if I go to, or if I scroll down, you can see the 2 issues it created. So the implementation ticket on how it's going to do it, which I'm not going to go into super big detail, and then also the testing ticket and how it will test it. So if I really wanted to, I could go through the, like if I, let me put it to you this way. If I was way more caring about this code, which I'm not right now, this is just like me messing around and just seeing how it works and where I can influence and change things before work is done and all that kind of stuff, then, you know, that's all I'm really doing right now. Okay, so, but this looks good to me. This looks good enough to me. So what I'm going to do now that it's planned the work, I'm going to clear the context one more time. I'm going to now use my dev team skill to create a dev team, and I'm going to tell it to complete AGT 94, right? And close all issues. Do not commit any changes. So complete and close all issues. Do not commit any changes. Realistically, I probably don't even have to tell it to do not commit any changes because that's already in the markdown, but just gives you a basic idea, right? So I'm going to use my dev team skill to create a dev team with a project manager that's going to look at AGT 94. I'm telling you everything it's going to do. So it's going to look at AGT 94, right? Going to look at the tickets underneath it. It's going to break everything down. Now, I completely cleared my context, right? So theoretically, it should immediately find those phases and do the same thing where it'll like this phase first, this phase second, and then the agents won't step over each other. Let's do it. You're no fun. It should just be YOLO. Oh, I'm sorry. See, that's the thing, dude. Is like, you're not going to get that on my stream. You're just not going to get that on my stream. I'm sorry, man. I'm sorry. I like to be productive. Like, I want to clip that and send it into our dev Slack. Any chance you can present it? Oh, dude, just go to the VOD. The VOD's available right now. You can totally use it. All right, so let's see what it's done. So it says, I'll start by gathering context about the repository and the linear issue AGT 94. So it got the repo information to know which repo it's in, which branch it's on, which issue is AGT 94 using the MCP server. Right, now let me get the subtask issues and check the current state of all related issues. Looks good, looks good. I have all the context. 94 is the parent issue with 2 subtasks. The parent issue notes that these should be done in a single engineer since they touch the same file. Planning is already completed in linear, so I'll skip the PM and go straight to execution. Spawning a staff engineer to implement both AGT 95 and 96. Let's go! So now I'm just going to open up LazyGit in another window, and we'll start to see those changes come in. And you'll see the staff engineer even updated the ticket. It moved the ticket to in process or in progress. Dude, Dude, I love it. Oh my God, I love it. There it is. There's our UI. There's our changes starting to come in. So while that's happening, let's take a look at our code review. Okay, so concerns. Stale socket detection is not reliable for connection refused. The stale socket detection connects to the socket and assumes any connection error means it's stale. However, error could include transient errors, permission denied, not just connection refused. A more targeted check would be, oh yeah, we definitely want that one. Only SIGINT can handle SIGINT, not SIGTERM. Okay, we want that one too. TCP path now has signal handling it didn't have before. The TCP branch adds, which is a behavioral change previously. Can circle CI credentials? Yes. I believe so, yes. Just keep an eye on it. And if something happens, let me know. Cool. Okay, so these are two good concerns. Like these are again, I didn't just ask it to do no normal code review. I have a code review skill that is very deliberate in how it looks at things, and like these are honestly, these are valuable feedbacks for me. So like I would definitely want this one, and I would definitely want this one. Like both of those making sense to me. Now it also exit on SIG init. This is probably desirable. A subtle change beyond the status worth calling out. Okay, we don't even need to worry about that one. So we want fixes for 1 and 2. Oh, let's go back here really quickly. All right, it's still working. Suggestions. Makefile TCP mode requires Vorpal separate flags. With old makefile, oh, that's fine. Uses expect instead of. Okay, so here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to tell it to fix concerns 1 and 2 and suggestion 5. So I'm just going to say fix concerns number 1, number 2, and suggestion number 5. Yeah, go for it. All 3 issues. Okay, so dude, by the time I was able to go through the code review and get this agent to do what it needed to do, the implementation of what I just did, or the planning, or no, the wait, what did we just do? Oh yeah, the work of what we just had Claude do is already done. All right, so let's try it. So I'm going to open up the agent. The Vorpal agent thing. I'm just gonna try it. I'm just gonna run it and try it, right? Like it said it's done, so let's try it. So I'm gonna say read the let's say read the maybe Vorpal. I need a better example. I need something with a little bit of input. Okay, I got an idea. Let's do this. So let's say run make lint and provide the result. And what I'm going to do too is I'm going to tell Claude that it's allowed to bash make lint. So I'm telling it it's allowed to run that command, right? So you might be like, well, BG, how are you, like, if you're running agents, how are you making sure the agents can do everything they need to do with the right permissions? This is how. Right, so I know I want it to run make lint and provide the result, so I'm literally telling it, hey, be allowed to run the bash command. All right, so I'm gonna hit enter. I'll let that run. Now the goal is I should see, so see this right here, run cargo clippy lint check. I should be able to see, oh, it tried. That's hilarious. There we go. Okay, well, it ran cargo clippy instead. I don't know why it ran the exact opposite. But yeah, there you go. You can see now I've got the last lines. Lint pass clearly, no warnings. Yeah, it looks good. Yeah, it looks like it's working. So let me do a little bit more of an advanced one, because that didn't really give me much of a example. So I'm gonna actually like dog food here a little bit. I'm going to stage these changes. I'm going to run agent. And then I'm going to say slash code review. So I'm going to have it do a code review. Actually, you know what? No. Let me do this. Slash code review my stage changes. There we go. All right. So I'm going to let it do a code review on the changes it just made of itself. All 3 fixes. There we go. Now all the 3 fixes are also completed by the time that I was done with that. You see how we're able to productivity max here, chat? I'm getting work done while I'm working on other things. Is it perfect work? I don't know. I do have to do review and stuff, but like this looks a lot better. Yeah, this looks a lot better. Yeah. All right. So now I'm going to clear it again, and I'm going to do another code review my stage changes. This is something I do a lot. If I'm having AI write code reviews or writing code, I normally have a lot of code reviews go through it. Like I do a lot of code reviewing because I really want to make sure that like after I do like 2 or 3 code reviews, it's basically giving me nothing of value. So I do it a few times. So yeah, no blockers, concerns, potential panic on line 665. Suggestions, consider compacting result max as a tuning knob. The value change, but existing test line now hard codes 1 instead of using the constant. The older use compactor symbolically, which would let you tweak the constant again without updating tests. Oh, okay. Minor. All collects everything, then drops prefix for what's good. Okay, cool. Okay, so let's go back to this one. This is doing a code review. I'm just gonna have Claude do one more code review over here. Code review my staged changes. So I got 2 code reviews going, and I'm gonna go back to my other project. So, okay, project manager, only create. Did anyone else think of anything else that they felt like we should add to this? Because it seems like we're good. Anything else? What do you think, chat? This seems like a good prompt. I think so. Let's run it. Okay. All right. So remember, it's not really going to do anything until it asks me questions. So it is going to ask me questions. And I would imagine the questions it's going to ask me is like, what tools do you want to use? You know, do you want to use this for this? I forget, like Go's got like a few different CL, like your fave, I think is one of the CLI tools that is used a lot. Like, you know what I mean? So I have a feeling it's going to say stuff like that, right? Nothing too specific except for just like what technologies do I probably want it to use. Okay. So we got our first code review back and it gave me, oh, that's dope. That's amazing. It literally gave me the exact same code review. That's perfect. That's exactly what I wanted. Cool. So it gave me the exact same code review. So we'll say fix concerns and suggestions. I don't think we have any suggestions to fix. It's just like minor preference though. The constant is fine for documentation purposes. Compact and full branches share identical iteration. Line 694, not introduced by, but worth noting if you clean up could. Okay, let's say fix concerns and suggestion number 2. We'll have it fix the concern and suggestion number 2. Yeah. All right. What about this one? Consider connect lazy for UDS client. Connect lazy instead of connector with connector would defer the actual connection into the first RPC call, making the client more resilient to server startup timing. This would match common gPC clients where you want to create easily. Oh, okay. Yeah, I'll do that. I like that. So we'll say, did it have no? Oh, okay. Never mind. Log message in UDS mode is slightly misleading. When no TLS is configured, including UDS mode, the log says TLS disabled using plain text mode for listener. In UDS, plain text is a TCP component that doesn't really apply. UDS is secure. Okay, so we'll say that. Eager connection in Rust UDS client may fail. Stale socket won't detect all stale states. Okay, I wanted to fix all 3 of these. Okay, we'll do all of it. I like all of it. All of these suggestions are pretty good. I'm not mad at all of them. I think this one and this one are the same, but I'm gonna basically tell it to fix all concerns and all suggestions. So I'm gonna say fix all concerns and suggestions. And okay, that looks good. Cool. And then this one is done. Change total lines visible to saturating to prevent the potential panic if the accounts ever diverge. Okay, cool. Hey, guess what? We're also back to our plan. Okay, so here we go. Check it out. Check it out. For the CLI command structure, do you want a nested subcommand pattern like, or would you prefer something like audit Docker file from? The nested pattern scales better for adding more commands per domain. Oh, we're definitely going to use the nested commands. For the output information, what should be the default be? Should we support multiple formats from the start or keep it simple? Let's use... Yeah, I'm using an MCP. Yeah, Cyrenix, I'm using an MCP. Table, human readable. Honestly, I think we should support multiple from the start. Yeah, because we're going to need it eventually. So let's just support multiple from the start. For the local mode running in a repo, should it scan just the root directory or cursively find all matches? Oh, it should find all matches. Yes. For GitHub API mode, should the initial scope support scanning a single repo? Yeah, just a single repo. Yeah. Okay, cool. There we go. All right. So all of those are good to go. It'll ask me any other questions it needs. All 101 tasks. Here's what changed. Extracted the duplicate. Okay, so I'm going to run agent one more time. Here's a summary of all the fixes applied. Okay, cool. New / code review my stage changes. That looks good. Everything seems to be loading fine. Is this fun to you, chat? Like, do you guys find this stuff fascinating and interesting? Is this stuff interesting to you guys? Yeah? Okay, dope. Interesting to me. Okay, cool. You know what, though? We need to make a fix. Not at all. Can't wait to go to pen to paper. Give me 2 seconds, chat. I'll be right back. 2 seconds. Chat, I've been wearing the wrong glasses this entire time. Interesting to me. Good. Interesting to me too. Again, I don't think I would be able to work this fast. So, yeah. Okay. Fix the concern, fix suggestion 2. Okay, this looks good. All right, so what I'm going to do now is I am going to do a clear and I'm going to do a commit. All right, let's go to the other project. While that's committing. Yeah, I did all of it. Okay, cool. So here's what I'm going to do now. Now I'm going to stage those changes and I'm going to do another code review. The idea here is I'm going to keep doing a code review until I'm basically getting nothing of value back, right? And the reason for that is because you can't expect the AI or the LLM to get every single thing in the code review the first time. Just kind of like you can't expect a human to do it, right? So what I'll do is I'll like, I'll answer some questions, I'll make some changes, and then I'll code review again, and then I'll have some changes, and I'll have a code review again. Okay, so it's asking me more things. It's saying, okay, cool. Now I understand, technically, what about remember how I told you how it was going to ask me about some of the tools I wanted it to use? Well, that's what it's doing, right? So it's saying like, do you want to use Cobra? Do you want to use your fave? Do you want to use Kong? I'm going to use Cobra. I used your fave before, but that was just confusing. So we're going to say GitHub authentication should all be done through MVARs. We'll say that the official GitHub API, yep, we want to use Go GitHub. And we will, yep, there we go. We'll submit all of our answers. So during all of this time, I made an improvement to the agent TUI while simultaneously making code review changes to the optional TLS setting, while also setting up an entire new project that I'm, effectively working on from scratch. Right. So yeah, dude, you can productivity max pretty hard with Claude. And again, like I'm not really letting it do anything that I don't want it to. Okay, so this looks good. We're gonna have it do more work in a second. Don't worry. Yes. Can this agent shenanigans be run with local LLMs? It can, but here's the reality of it, dude. And we were talking about this last stream too. They're just not anywhere near as fast. It just wouldn't be productive. You know what I mean? They're just so slow. You can't beat how fast the, what's it called is, the API requests are. All right. So we still have more in our agent TUI map, right? Now that it did that small little fix for me, you know what though? Hold on. I do want to make another quick change. So if I open this up really quickly, let me go back to the app. Let's say /code review or you know what? Let's do, review. No, I need a command. Okay, we'll say run Vorpal build Vorpal and provide the result. And then I'm going to tell it bash Vorpal. Yeah, chat. I hear you. I hear you, nerd and hardcore. Okay, that is a problem. That's a problem. I'm not seeing any output. There is a bug in the Vorpal agent TUI, which appears to have been introduced in the last commit. Tools like bash are no longer streaming their output, but showing everything on complete. I think that's what's happening. Either that or it's stuck. But I think I did it right. I'm gonna let it sit there for a few more seconds. I think this is what's happening. Is this your current workflow with? Yes, this is my current workflow with everything. Yeah. Oh shit. Okay, cool. So it's creating the issues for the Greenfield project now, chat. There you go. Feature initial implementation. Oh yeah. Look at all these issues it's creating. Look at all this stuff that would have to be in context. So if I go to projects, there's GitHub exporter. I go to issues. Those are all the issues it's created for it so far. Damn. This is what the code's gonna look like. Wow. Yeah. Doing good, chat. Doing good. You know what, chat? I don't think that worked at all. Because I don't think it takes that long to build Vorpal. Huh? Vorpal build. Config. Weird. I don't want to do a system perm right now. Let me, I need another command that I can run. I guess I could do like cargo. What if I do like cargo check? Well, if I run it once, then I'm not gonna be able to do it again. All right, here, I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna open up agent. I'm gonna say run cargo clean, then cargo build. And we'll say bash cargo. We'll just allow all the cargo commands. I think that's how you do that. Yeah, all right. I'm wondering why I'm not seeing bash output right now at all. And I don't know if it's because it's like not allowed to do it or something else is going on. There it is. Yeah. I don't see the output happening until it's done. See what I'm saying? Feels like Bash are no longer streaming their output. Yeah, it looks like that might have broken something. Project manager. There is a bug in the Vorpal agent TUI which appears to have been introduced in the last commit. Feels like Bash. I'll say which appears to have possibly been introduced in the last commit. Tools like Bash are no longer streaming the output but showing everything on complete. All right, let's see what the project manager has to say about that. Are you using OpenClaw at all? Nope, just using Claude Code. Okay, so what do we got here? Concerns. Socket file permission not set explicitly. Creates the socket permissions based on any local user who can traverse can connect. Binding if you want tighter access control. This may not matter for local dev. Oh no, yeah, I like that. That's good. Permission denied, treated as stale. Okay. Duplicated blocks. Okay. Go rebuilds the same URI string. Okay. So I like all the concerns. Let's have it fix all the concerns. Consider not detected error, connected error in the stale check. Okay. Health check validation. When running health check, the health check port defaults to its configured value with no collision risk since main uses it. However, there's no explicit log that says okay. Yeah, I think it can fix literally all of the concerns and suggestions. I like all of those. Fix all concerns and suggestions. Now remember, I'm still working on the same branch. Yeah, it did. You see how it so we finally got it. And it is like when it's collapsed, it is showing the last line, but we want it to be streamed in there, and I don't know why it's not doing that. Cool. And then we've got this one fixing all of the changes. All right, so chat, it says that it created an entire implementation plan for our CLI tool. AGT 97. Let's see what it has to say. So implement GitHub Exporter, a Go CLI tool that exports custom metrics information about GitHub repositories for auditing purposes. The tool supports two main command groups: GitHub Exporter Docker from, parse Docker files, extract all from directives, base images, stages, versions recursively from all Docker files. GitHub Exporter, Node.js package engine, parse the package.json files, extract the engine's field, recursively find all package.jsons. Hell yeah. local mode, default, run in the base of the repository, scan file system recursively, API mode, fetch flags. Oh, wow, that's fucking dope. Okay, output, format, hell yeah, very cool. Design decisions, Cobra, get it, go hub. Yep, that's exactly what, bro. So here's the thing is it didn't do anything. So far, it has done absolutely nothing that I wouldn't have done myself. Like, seriously, I'm not even kidding. I'm looking at this and I'm just like, I would have done all of this. This is why I really like this like the planning, putting it into issue, having an agent that thinks like a project manager. How's the code quality? No idea. No idea. Can't say shit about the code quality, but I can tell you that the planning is pretty good. The planning is pretty good. But what's crazy, and I want to remind you of this, every single one of these issues is going to run in their own context, right? So the hopes would be that, at least from a context window perspective, they can write code as cleanly as possible without being influenced by anything else, right? So hopefully it means decent code, but we'll see. There you go. So remember, I think Whisper, you were the one who said to give it a repo name, right? There you go. Right. GitHub exporter, hello world placeholder, Vorpal build script needs updating for new internal packages, go mod, no internal packages yet. Oh, dude, it even followed my, oh, that's right, because my staff engineer uses the, okay, yeah, that's right, I forgot about that. Nice. Execution order. Okay, so we're gonna have, it's gonna be built in 5 phases. So when I fire up the dev team to do the entire work for us, right? 6 agents can work simultaneously on phase 1. Damn! Oh my God, that's gonna be crazy. Okay, so phase 1, foundation, parallel, Cobra CLI, output formatter, and file scanner. Docker file, phase 2, Docker file parallel with phase 3. Docker file parser, Docker file from command. Phase 3. Oh, okay, so both of these are gonna run in parallel. Got it. Okay, that makes sense. Package.json parser. Okay, GitHub, API, GitHub auth, API fetcher, build config, update Vorpal build scripts, acceptance criteria. Both commands work in local mode. Both commands work in API mode. Output supports formats. GitHub API authentication works via environment variables. Vorpal build succeeds with the new source directories. Yeah, I would say that looks pretty good, dude. Like, that's... And I mean, like, I could go through all of this too if I wanted. I'm not really going to. I'm just going to kind of like skim it really quickly. I mean, here's your code. If you wanted to see how good the code is, 715, here it is. Like, it's showing me exactly what it's going to write. You know? Engine info, package name, version, engines. I mean, this doesn't look bad. You know? It doesn't look bad. All right, so here's what we're going to do. Again, this is a completely, entirely new tool, right? I'm going to reopen Claude. And we're going to have it go crazy. Also, I should check my usage. Okay, cool. We've only used 11% so far. That's good. Just wanted to make sure. That's the one thing you have to check, chat, your usages. All right. /dev team. I already did this before. Where is it? Hold on. Claude. /dev team. Okay, here we go. So complete, which ticket is it again? All I have to do is find the main base ticket. So if I go to projects, GitHub exporter, issues, it's this one, AGT 97. It's pretty good, dude. I'm about to complete or run an entire dev team to complete a whole project from scratch. So it's pretty good. All right. So again, I'm going to use that dev team skill to complete AGT 94 or 97. Sorry. Ooh, I almost gave it the wrong one. That's where this kind of stuff is important. Make sure you run it on the right ticket. Okay. So AGT 97. And close all issues. Do not commit any changes. right? So it's going to work on all of these 10 issues, all of these 11 issues. All right, let's do it. All right, so I'm going to let that run. Nice. Yeah, it's via an MCP. Yep. All right, so it actually created a ticket in my linear for me for that bug that we were talking about, the one that doesn't show. Oh yeah, here it is. Okay. Increase compact result back to 3 or make it more configurable. Consider reverting to first n lines instead of last n lines, since the first lines give more information and immediate feedback as results arrive. Okay, yeah, that makes sense. In compact mode, yeah. All right, I'm gonna tell it to work on this. I'm gonna tell it to fix it. I think it knows the problem well enough, so I'm gonna say dev team. I mean, it's a single ticket. I don't really need a dev team for this. I can just do a single agent. So I'm just going to do staff engineer complete AGT 108. Do not commit any changes. Do not commit changes. I'll say complete and close. Complete and close. AGT 108. Do not commit any changes. I'll give you accepting edits. All right, cool. Compared to ChatGPT, what's the difference? I just think that Claude's a better model for this kind of stuff. It's a personal opinion, but I used Codex for like an hour or two and then just found it to be clunky and weird feeling, and so I just ended up going right back to using, you know, what's it called? Claude. So, yeah. All right, so is it still implementing? Oh yeah, it is. Look at that. Nice. Oh wow. Okay, so chat, look at this. All right, chat, we got whoops, didn't realize the agent team was waiting for me. So I have an entire dev team running right now. As you can see down at the bottom, there's a lot going on, actually. I just kind of got to like allow most of this stuff, but you'll see here down at the bottom it says like engineer CLI, engineer Docker file parser, engineer formatter, engineer package parser, right? And then I can like talk to the actual orchestrator. Every single one of these outputs are outputs from the agents themselves. So when you see a colored output like that, yes. When you see a colored output like that, that's from the agent. When you see a white dot like this is from the orchestrator or the team lead. Well, we are actively working through this project right now. There you go. You can see the the agent package JSON parser completed, the CLI completed. Now the team lead or the project manager is updating the issues. Shut down gracefully. So that's why the dev team feature is so powerful. Like it's doing everything. It's taking the issues, it's assigning it to agents. Those agents are then let's look at the changes. There you go. It's written all of this. It's written all of this, chat. All of it. I didn't write any of this. Right? And these agent teams can orchestrate like this at a very high level. So, yeah, it's powerful. It's really powerful. And I also have a staff engineer trying to fix the bug. So let's go back to the TLS project. Summary of fixes, concerns, socket added, duplicate. Okay, so here's what I'm going to do now. Now I want to test these changes because these were kind of like pretty big, important changes. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to clear the context, and I have skills that are in my project that effectively do the same things I would for like end-to-end testing, or what I call SDK parity testing. So let's do an end-to-end test first. So I'm going to say end-to-end test. Again, another command, which is a skill, and you'll see it says run end-to-end tests to validate WordPress services and client builds when using testing the full system, blah, blah, blah. So I'm going to run that. So I have my staff engineer fixing my bug. I have my other agent running my end-to-end tests, and then I have my other agent implementing an entire new tool for me. I told you it was product, or I told you it was what's it called? Productivity maxing. No commits at all. Opus 4.6 is about 2% from the singularity. That's pretty crazy. It definitely feels way more it feels better for sure. Opus like is crazy powerful. So yeah, so chat, if you look down here at the bottom, all these different colors, these are all agents. So right now I have 3 agents running. Oh, by the way, where was I before? I think it was 11%, 15%. Yeah, so I'm burning through tokens pretty quickly now. Not as bad though. Not as bad as you would think. But I'm still doing it, yeah. Totally worth building data centers in towns that don't want them and have voted against building them. Bro, I'm not going to get into that. I'm not going to get into that. You talking to me about that is like talking to a scientist about like the fucking Grand Hadron Collider or whatever. Like it's, I don't know, dude. I get it. I fully get it. I fully get it. I'm actually from one of those towns, believe it or not, in Florida. Amazon basically just fucking took completely over my hometown. It's crazy. There's like there's a facility there that's literally like almost a 2-mile road. You just keep going. No, but it's a serious topic. Like it is. The problem is, like I said, I'm a scientist. I want to explore. I'm not here fucking making gifs of like stupid shit. And I do not think that AI really should be used for that. Like all the AI like image generation shit like that's going on, like that's a massive part of it. It's the AI image generation shit for sure. But you know, the only reason why I'm using AI truly is to learn how to make it better so that we can do things better. You know, that's it. I've stopped using ChatGPT because it would always give me legacy data, so I'm assuming Claude doesn't do that. I think Claude's models are updated a bit more. I will say, Rod, like that whole data out of date thing has been kind of a little it's not really a problem as much anymore. I talked about this before too, so let me actually open up Excel-a-Draw really quickly. So coding agents basically look like this, right? Now, like today, this is what coding agents look like. Like we started out with like just prompts and LLMs. And that's why a big reason why you felt the way you did about like legacy data and shit back then being so important. Because back then we didn't have any of this. We just had this. So whenever a new model would come out, everyone would get super excited because like, oh my God, new model, new data. Yeah, woo, right? But then people who made models realized like this just isn't going to be super helpful because we have to keep like, it's just not a way to iterate. Like having to get models out there all the fucking time to be updated is just not really helpful. So what we did was we introduced something called tools, right? And tools work with models to make requests and get up-to-date information about things like browsers to search the internet, other clients like, I don't know, like CLI clients or other things like that to get information from other data sources, right? But that's what tools do, right? So this really made it so that your model doesn't really have to have the most up-to-date, most important data, because now you can just tell it, hey, go look here. It's more about intelligence. How smart will it respond to what you're trying to do, rather than does it just have the most up-to-date data, right? And so yeah, like tools like browsers and stuff like that, like headless browsers and stuff like that, have made it so that it's not really as big of a deal if the model's out of date. But I will say that, you know, even today's models, they're probably only like 6 months behind the actual current date, right? So okay, cool. And all the end-to-end tasks built successfully. Check it out. Yeah, dude, no worries. I would say if you were somebody who hasn't experienced AI since then, give it another shot, because it has grown such a bit since then. Only use the MCP directly. So I have 2 things waiting for me and 1 thing that's still working, but we have quite a bit of work that's been done on our project, which is pretty cool. What's up, Tuki Tuki? How's it going? Second chat. So you know what though, Whisper, one thing about that link, this is my Nix. If you want to go to my Vorpal one that has my agent files and stuff in it, just replace .nix with .vorpal. I haven't added that one to the links yet. So if you're trying to get my agent stuff specifically, yeah. Okay, chat, we did it. Damn. Okay, so we definitely did it. It built the entire thing. Yeah, of course. Yeah, I think Claude's a good thing to kind of jump into and see. So yeah, so yo, chat, check it out. So our greenfield, brand new tool created from scratch by Claude is done. It did it in about 12 minutes, which is pretty impressive. It didn't even use the entire context. So this is why agent teams are so powerful. Look at this. It only used 69. Nice. It only used 69% of the context. If I had done everything in one context window, so let me go back here really quickly, just so you fully understand. Yesterday we talked about, or last stream we talked about like the types of approaches to like context, or to using like coding agents and stuff like that. And I kind of said that like right now a lot of people are doing this, like the endless loop prompting, which is like you just open up Claude Code and you just start giving it instructions over and over and over until you hopefully eventually you get a result. But at some point that window gets filled up, you have to like compact, and then as you compact you lose data about your last part of your conversation because it's being compacted, right? This hurts your future prompts because it has less information about the past, and it effectively kind of just like starts to forget shit. So if you told it to do something a long time ago and then it got compacted, it'll forget to do that thing, right? And so this is like that endless loop prompting that kind of, I think a lot of people are, maybe not a lot of people, but I would say most people have experienced at one point, right? What I'm proposing, and I think what a lot of people are starting to lean towards, is this like single guided prompting, right? And that's kind of just like what I'm calling it, right? And maybe, you know, like guided prompting might be even better than just like single guided prompting. But the idea is that you do more focus on planning and effectively like it figuring out how to solve the problem. And then you store the tasks on how to solve that problem into like an issue system, or even just some kind of, you could use a database. It doesn't really matter. Like use the issue system, because then you can do like depends on and it is blocked by. And so if you use a big reason why an issue system is so powerful here is if the AI effectively creates an entire plan of how to fix something and then it puts it into linear, you can devise what the dependency structure is of that plan if the agent properly sets up all the like blocks by and you know, is blocking and things like that, right? So that's what then makes it so that after I'm done with this one prompt to plan, I can then take all of this data and all of these issues, and then I can create a whole bunch of agents that equally have their own context window to execute the plan and provide a result. And that's exactly why my context window is so small here, because realistically it fired off like 8 or 9 agents that each had their own context window, but it didn't affect mine, right? So it wasn't really like a, you know, a big impact. Like I could probably do a whole bunch more work and still not need to compact yet, versus if I had taken all of the work of each agent and added it to my existing context window, we probably would have compacted like 2 or 3 times. So avoiding compaction, having lightweight context windows are really what make it so that you get really good results with AI, at least in my opinion. That's what I've seen, is if your context window basically never has to compress, you'll be able to get pretty good results. What's that UI with the progress bar and all? This is just a status line that is in Claude code. So this is Claude code, and there's a status line that you can add to it. There you go. If you guys are curious about the status line feature, there you go. But yeah, that's basically the approach I'm trying to take now, where I'm trying to avoid this endless loop prompting, and I'm trying to go more towards like create a plan, store all of the tasks for that plan somewhere, and then execute each task one by one in a parallel way for agents to be able to do really fast. And that's how I was able to churn 10 tickets in 12 minutes. Cool. Okay. So it's saying that it fixed the agent problem. So let's go see if it fixed that first. It also says that the end-to-end tasks, or the end-to-end tests, were successful. So that's good. I mean, you know what, chat? I'm just going to do one more code review. This is this is actually a very important change that impacts all of Vorpal. So even though I did have AI write this, I want to be very, very deliberate with these changes. The agent manager, I don't really care about as much. Not to say I don't care about the agent manager, but I don't really care about it as much. But like Vorpal being able to start services and listen and stuff is a little bit more important. So I'm going to say, we'll say code review my stage changes. We'll just do that here. All right, so let's see. Okay, that's pretty good. It has no blockers and no concerns. That's funny. Now it's telling me to not do the... what is your opinion on how detailed an agent's area will be? What do you mean? I guess I don't fully understand your question. Let's see if I get the same code review. Okay, cool. So we've got a few more things in here. Serve with shutdown doesn't drain in-flight RCPs. The serve feature is dropped immediately. Any in-flight streams will be terminated abruptly. Connect server does not have a built-in graceful shutdown with serve incoming, but you could use cancellation token with Tokyo ISO wait watch to signal. Oh no, I don't give a shit about that right now. That'll be a problem I'll worry about in the future. I know exactly what that problem is. Go SDK get transport is now incomplete. Oh, let's say, yeah, we'll fix that one. So we'll say fix concern number 2. Identical. Fix suggestion 1. And fix suggestion 2. So we're going to say fix concern number 2 and suggestion, I think it's just 1 and 2, right? Yeah, 1 and number 2. Yeah, I like all of these changes. These look good. So code review is pretty massively important, right? Like for one change a AI makes or an LLM makes, yeah, there's probably like 5 changes or 5 code reviews I do just to make sure that everything is fine, and I don't see anything else. Like when you get down to this point in a code review where it's like no blockers, no concerns, and only just like stupid suggestion stuff, right? You're pretty much at the point where you're like, okay, there's really not much else here. I have a question. I want to ask it really quickly. Or you know what? I'm going to ask the Rust engineer this. Yeah, engineer. In the Vorpal agent TUI, we provide minimal output via compact mode. If we simply invert the array of lines from the stream, would we be able to always show the latest line first rather than last? Very curious about that. String's already imported, applies all 3 fixes. Cool. That looks good. That looks good. What is your opinion on how, for instance, how to split? Oh, like how to make different agents? I see what you're saying. Like what domains? Like how do you know how to make like a... Right. Honestly, dude, I don't think it's a bad thing at all to mimic reality. And a big reason why I say that is because that's kind of how we've like started today, you know, and a lot of people are doing that. Like a lot of people are starting with like, you know, again, like project manager agents and like other things. And then they create like entire teams, and you could like, technically you could, like, if you really want to experiment with agents and all this stuff, here's what I would recommend doing. I would recommend opening up whatever LLM you choose of your choice, right? And you just give it the prompt saying, hey, I need your help creating a, you know, agent of this type. I give it normally, like, because again, I'm focusing on Claude and Claude code. I give it like the Claude code documentation on subagents. And then I just say like, hey, ask me any questions you need, right? And then it'll say like, got it. Oh, sorry. This is probably small. Let me zoom in. So here you go. You'll see, I need your help creating a senior Rust engineer subagent for Claude Code. Their docs are here, right? Ask me any questions you need in order to make a subagent, right? So it goes out, figures out a whole bunch of stuff. And it says like, all right, what tools do you want? Is there any like patterns or anything you care about? Like anything about like Vorpal or Alt F4 in general, right? I answer the questions, and then it goes and it makes the Rust engineer agent that you can now immediately add and start using. And then experiment with it, right? And see like, but I would say the biggest thing about having agents is like having a purpose for them. Like know why you're using this agent. Like again, I use the project manager because I always want to schedule tasks, right? Stuff like that. You don't know how to zoom back out. I think it's something like that, maybe. Yeah, there we go. Does that make sense, Tuki? Okay, here we go. Now I have a full picture. Here's the answer. Yes, but with a nuance. Looking at the code, the compact mode is straightforward. Change is straightforward. The key line is not. Currently, it collects all lines from first line, show end lines. Instead, you'd reverse the taking, or more idiomatically skip. The skip approach is cleaner. It takes end last lines while preferring the root. So the output still reads top to bottom naturally. This latest line ends at the bottom. Is intended to show. Do you want me to check if the working tree, or should I make it? Go ahead and make the edit. Yeah, go ahead and make the edit. Okay. All right, one last code review. I think we'll be good. Yes. How are we doing over here? Oh, that's right. This was completely done. So we need to test our CLI. Let's do it. All right. So I'm going to do this. I'm going to say build the CLI to the root of this project. All right. So I'm going to have it actually build. So we should see. Yep, there it is. Okay. So GitHub exporter. Nice. So there's our CLI, Docker file, and then from, no Docker files from. Nice. I mean, that works pretty well so far. Let me find a project that actually has a Docker file in it, though. I don't even know what I don't use Docker. I don't use Docker at all anymore these days. Maybe base image does. Container. No, we do all that with Nix. Cora. Maybe Cora does. No, Cora does not. DSDA presentation. Oh, you know what? I think one of these do. Service. Yeah, there we go. Main. Is there a Docker file here? Oh, no, not yet. Stage 3 scale. There's the Docker file. Okay. So I'm going to do up, GitHub, exporter, feature, initial implementation, GitHub exporter. Oh, yeah. Docker file from. Yo. That's nice. It works. It works, chat. Yo, that actually looks way better than I expected it to. And that's going to be way easier to parse. Okay, so let me do this. I can do a format. So let me do format JSON. Oh my God. Bro, it built it perfectly. Holy crap. I think it built it almost exactly the way I needed it to. That's crazy. What did you build? Were you not here earlier when I had Claude like build an entire CLI tool for auditing purposes, and it built that thing like perfectly? So okay, so earlier I gave Claude, let me see if I can find it for you. All right, cool. So I'm gonna clear that. I gave Claude this prompt, and I want you to read this prompt really quickly. Or you know what? I'll read it out for you. Okay, you ready for this? Project manager, only plan creating a Go CLI which exposes custom metrics or information about repositories in GitHub for auditing purposes. So the TLDR is at my job where I work, right? We need to be able to do exactly that. Sorry, I just had like a brain fart for a second there. We need to be able to do that. Like I need to be able to go to a list of repositories and get all of the Docker files versions, meaning like, are they using Node? Are they using Python? What version of Python? What version of Node? And it's entirely for auditing purposes. It's entirely to be able to audit like parts of our infrastructure and stuff like that, right? So right now I'm making the command line do two things. One is it has a Docker file from command, which will tell me in the Docker file on what line, what image is being used and what tag and what like alias and all that kind of stuff. So like when I run this in my project that has a Docker file right here, it's reading this Docker file and then it's telling me, okay, it has Golang and whatever. And the reason why this is powerful is because I can change the format to JSON and then I can parse this information. right? So what I can do is now I can take this command and run it against like a whole bunch of repos, get all this. You see what I'm saying? Like now it's like I can actually do something with this data, right? So that's pretty awesome. And so this is the first step of being able to do that, like that kind of auditing approach. The second thing is making it so that it can look at Node.js package engine. So if I had a Node.js file in here, which I don't, this was built with Docker or with Go, then it would look at the package or the engine declaration inside of the package.json and tell me what versions of Node are supported for the project, or if there's any engine at all that's in there, right? And so that might mean that, like, you know, the engine's very out of date from the Docker file, meaning we need to update the engine or we need to update the Docker file. So we have like really strong, you know, policies around all that stuff. And then the only other thing I told it was acceptance criteria. Hey, this should be able to run in the base repository or use the GitHub API. If it uses the GitHub API, it should use GitHub application authentication, because that's what we use. And then I say basically, hey, ask any design specific questions before beginning planning to make sure our goals are aligned. And then I hit enter. And then what it did was it asked me a series of questions after doing a whole bunch of thinking. And then it created an entire roadmap for me to build. And then it built it. And the roadmap was made inside of Linear. So if I go to Linear and then I look at projects, you'll see that GitHub exporter is a project inside of Linear. That's because I've basically taught my Claude code how to work with Linear to work on projects. And so projects are actually repositories. So in this case, you'll see GitHub exporter. That's my repository. And if I click on that, I go to issues, you'll see here's all the issues it created for GitHub exporter. Right. And so if I click on the one with the actual numbers, this one right here, this is the epic implementation of GitHub exporter CLI. And so I want you to know at this point, it's planned everything, but not implemented a single thing. So technically what I can do if I wanted to is I can go into each one of these and be like, and look at them and see how it's going to execute. How, if I don't want it to be like format or repo, I want it to be like repo name or something else, I can go in here and change these. Right. So the idea is I'm effectively getting it all out and planned via the project manager. And then after I did that planning stage, I then used a dev team to work on the entire thing. So this all costed $9.09. There was a planning stage as well that probably cost like $1 or $2. But yeah, basically like, you know, $10, $11, and you get an entirely built, you know, yeah, exactly what, you know, what you see here. Like, now again, this does do exactly what I wanted it to do. Like I would have built this probably very similarly. And let's go through the code and I'll take a look here. So like, for example, this like new command root execute thing, I've actually done this myself a lot. And that's because like it's a pretty common pattern to like create a function and then like have an execute exposed from that function that is like the root of your whole CLI. And so yeah, you can see here Cobra, right? Persistence flags, format, repo, add Docker file command. This all looks good. This all looks good. Yeah. Oops. Look at me now. Yeah, look at me now. Look at me now. Look at me go. Yeah. Looks pretty good. So yeah, this would be you know, a pretty good example of multi-processing, multi I don't know, productivity maxing, I don't know, something like that. So I'm gonna do a code review on my stage changes. I would definitely say a lot of my tokens are doing code reviews and stuff like that. Yes. Probably should have just let it auto accept edits. Okay, so we have another code review here. Concerns. Error is misleading. The error message says it must start with HTTP, but this function doesn't handle Unix. That's handled earlier in the build. The developer. Same pattern, though. Here the catch-all. Okay, so we're gonna fix that. We're not gonna do the drain. We will do the. Yeah, we'll do that. Stale socket talk to. There's a small window between confirming the socket is stale and removing it where another instance could start and bind to it. This is very unlikely in practice, but can be handled by an advisory lock file. Oh yeah, let's do that. Yeah, we should probably have a lock file. That makes a lot of sense actually. So we're gonna fix number 1, concern number 1 and number 3. Fix concern number 1, number 3, and suggestions number 5, I think. That's all we want? Because we don't really means only if a user runs the server as root and the client. Yeah, they're never gonna run it as root right now. Vorpal is actually meant to be ran into user space, so I don't really want to like encourage people running Vorpal as root. It shouldn't be run as root. It should be run as its own separate process. But we'll see. We'll see. Stale. Oh yeah. So we're gonna skip 4, and we're just gonna have it do 1 and 3. Okay. So let's see if it once again fixed my little compact U2E thing that I didn't really like. What subscriptions are you paying for LLMs now? I've been experimenting. I've definitely been experimenting. At first I was really hardcore on the OpenAI stuff. And so yeah, I went up to like the $200 a month of subscription with AI or OpenAI just to see like how much value you could really get out of it, and it was completely useless for me, and so I canceled it. And now I think I just paid the $20 a month one, although I may even just cancel that because honestly Claude has really been doing like everything for me. Normally I'll use OpenAI if I'm doing non-coding related things, like if I'm like I want to figure out what to eat or shit like that, then I'll probably use like OpenAI, right? But I don't know, Claude's also becoming more of a general purpose model as well, so it doesn't mean I necessarily couldn't use that one too. But yeah, so I have the ChatGPT 20, just $20 a month ChatGPT thing, and then eating is just an example. I just mean in general, non-coding things. But yeah, and then yeah, I did for this month alone, just this month, I decided to do the Claude Max 200 or 20 times, which is $200 a month, which is fucking insane. But it does give me like the ability to test what I've been testing right now, which is all of this like agent, just craziness that I've been doing. So reality of it is that has saved me a lot of money. The plan has saved me a lot of money because every single one of these windows where it's like $2, $5, that's actually all under my plan. Like I'm not actually spending any of that. It's all under the the plan that I'm using. If I was using API tokens, then yes, it would be exactly $2.84 or whatever. But this is just how much it would have costed. But again, because I'm on a plan, it's just a part of my plan. Yeah. / code review my stage changes. Have you tried any of the Chinese models? I have. I tried what was the first one that came out that was like really big? What was it? Yeah, what was the first one? Yeah, DeepSeek. I tried DeepSeek, and that was, I mean, it was cool. But I will say those models I've only ran locally. I don't run those, and I don't run the for maybe some obvious reasons you might understand. I didn't use their cloud products for that. I ran the model locally. Yeah, so they just weren't really valuable to me because yeah, I was running the model locally. It wasn't really performant like it would have been like OpenAI's models in the clouds, you know what I mean? So I don't have experience with DeepSeek in the cloud. I only have experience with DeepSeek locally. I haven't used Kimi yet. I think I tried using Kimi, but I've heard good things about Kimi as well. Listen, whatever it takes to disrupt the market, I'm fine with it. Like, keep making innovation possible. Why don't you use a third-party AI interface like OpenCode? It's a good question. Sorry, chat. A bit paranoid. Yeah, just a bit. Okay. So, I am personally right now a fan of Claude Code, or of Claude for programming. Claude is just what I prefer to use as a model for programming. I want to preface everything I'm about to say by saying that Claude is the model I prefer to use when I am programming. OpenCode is a really, really great tool. It's a really, really cool tool. I love the fact that it's open source and you can change between models. Like it's really dope. And I know some of the guys personally who work on it. Like Adam is a really, really cool guy. And so yeah, OpenCode's awesome. Do you know what sucks about using OpenCode with Anthropic or the model I want to use? Anthropic keeps fucking cutting them off. And so because Anthropic basically is like, cutting them off from being able to use the model, it just makes me not want to use OpenCode because I want to use the Claude model. You know what I mean? Yeah, I'm using Opus. Min J Max beats almost every proprietary mode for 1/8 of the price. Nice. For those of just checking in, how do you so the compaction and stuff, that's all okay, sorry. So this TUI here, or are you talking about the status line here? Yeah, this is a status line. If you're talking about this is a status line. Yeah. Yeah, this looks good. I mean, I think this looks pretty good. It's kind of doing what I wanted to do. So I think we'll just leave it at this for right now. I think that's fine. So I'm just gonna / commit those changes. We're done with that. All right, so that looks good. Lock path. Okay, so we added the whole lock scenario. Which one? I'm using a few TUIs right now. This one is lazy git. This one is Claude Code. And then this one that I just had open is Vorpal Agent Manager, which is something I built myself with Claude Code. Yeah, all that looks good. What is FS2 for? And yeah. Crates. FS2. Damn! Oh my god. 8 years ago though, bro? I don't know about that. I'm gonna replace FS2 with FS4. So this is why, like, I'm a little bit more deliberate with Claude on like projects I really care about. Like if I see something weird like that where I'm like, huh, normally when it adds packages, that's when I ask questions. You know what I mean? Like when it starts adding new packages, I'm kind of like, I don't know about that. So yeah. That's why I ask these questions. And I really don't want to be using a package that's like 8 years old and hasn't been updated since. So I use Opus for everything. I'm gonna be like just 100%. I use Opus for everything. I just raw dog Opus basically. 13.1. Yep, nice. That's the right one. Perfect. Okay. Can we get some more agents running? Let's do it. So what else do we have in the implementation for Vorpal's improvement stuff? Because we still have some stuff in here. 12 out of 24. So we still got, okay, so we still got a decent amount of them. So I think now we're at the medium priority. All right, should we spawn up an agent team and do the medium priority stuff? Let's do it. AG51, yep. So here's what I'm going to do now, chat. I'm going to spawn up a dev team to implement and close all medium priority feature issues for parent issue AGT1. Right, so in linear, I have a ticket called AGT51, right? And I've been slowly getting, like, burning through all of these in, like, sections, right? So I'm not telling Claude to just do everything at once, but I'm telling it to use dev teams or teams of agents to handle these in, like, sequence of, like, a 4 or 5 at a time, right? And so, like, last time I did all the high-level features, right? I took care of the improvements first, right? And so now I'm doing the medium features, right? So here's all because I have a skill called dev team, what it does is it orchestrates an entire, like I said, team of agents. So all I'm doing is I'm telling the dev team, hey, implement and close all medium priority feature issues for the parent issue AGT51, right? And then I hit enter. And so it's going to go through and it's going to find all those issues using the linear MCP. They are, but they are, they're not in these Docker dot files. They're here. They're in these dot files. I'm slowly moving my dot files to a new repository right now. So they're in the dot files. Give her a star if you don't mind. But yeah, if you go to the agents and the skills, those are in there. And the one I'm using right now is already in there. So the staff engineer and the agent skill, agent team skill and all that. I think they should be in there. If they're not, let me push them up real quick. There you go. I just pushed them up. I might not have pushed them. So I just pushed them up. Ah, yeah. Okay. Yeah. I just pushed them up. So if you go to agents now all of them are there. And if you go to skills, now all that's there too. And yeah, dude, I mean, I'm here to share, you know? Okay, cool. So now we're using FS4, which is a much newer library for what we are trying to achieve. So that's That's good. All right, cool. All right, so here's what I'm going to do now, chat. Now I'm going to tell the agent to do an end-to-end test. Now, I did this earlier, but if you didn't get to see it earlier, you get to see it again. I have a skill called end-to-end test. And in here, it basically breaks down exactly how to do an end-to-end test, right? Like end-to-end tests, they're not overly complicated. They're just annoying, right? Like you got to start your backend services, and you got to start your client, and you got to do all your requests and blah, 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 right? I wrote a skill that basically does all that for me, right? And so what I can do is I can make a bunch of changes. I can do end-to-end test, and it will start a dev server, run the end-to-end test. Well, it'll first make sure that the stuff is built, right? And then it'll run the backend server. And also, I don't know if you guys know this, but Claude can do process management. So you could tell Claude to like run a whole bunch of like Claude can run a whole bunch of agents. It can also run a whole bunch of processes. So in a second here, you'll see when it starts the backend services that a little like text is going to appear in my bar down here, and it'll say the command. Yeah, there it is. Make Vorpal start. This is a process running in the background. You can tell Claude to run as many processes as you want. It's entirely up to you. So you can literally use Claude as like a Docker container thing effectively. Now over here, remember how I told that dev team to work on those tickets? That's exactly what it's doing right now. Or orchestrate the dev team to implement and close all medium priority issues. Let me start by establishing context. So it figures out what branch we're on and what project we're in. It then gets the issue, right? Good. I have the context. The repo's Vorpal. The branch is this. The parent issue is this. Now let me fetch the medium priority features. So it finds all the features. There they are right here, right? It goes and gets each issue, right? And now the project manager is exploring the code base and building the phase plan. The reason why we have to build this in phases is because agents are a little crazy. Agents will go a little crazy and they will step over each other's changes. However, we can make the LLM figure out where the changes are going to go and then create plans so that we can run in parallel without stepping over each other. And that's exactly what it's doing right now is it's trying to figure out how to run it in a way where the agents won't hurt each other's changes. And it could sometimes mean that nothing can be ran in parallel, and that's entirely fine. That means you get better quality results because of that. So it's not a bad thing that it's not stepping over each other. It's actually a good thing. Star is yours. Oh, thanks. Appreciate that. Nice. Okay. It looks like everything's working. I'll just say go ahead and keep waiting. Now, what's cool about agent teams is you'll notice how I'm talking and having like a real-time conversation with the LLM. And that's exactly what agent teams are also meant to do, which is I can be like, check on the project manager's status. Oh, well, never mind. It just finished. But I can literally have this agent or the LLM talk to the agent and be like, hey, do this or do that or do this or do that. You know what I mean? Which is really powerful, right? So the project manager has delivered the final phase plan. Here's the summary, AGT 61 and AGT 65. So it's going to add the collapsible tool results and mouse support in phase 1. Then it's going to add the sidebar panel and prompt history in phase 2. And then it's going to add the split pane and the savable templates in phase 3. Each phase runs 2 agents in parallel with no file collisions, 3 sequential phases total. Shall I proceed with execution? Standing by, waiting for you to go ahead. Dude, you feel like a friggin' like I don't know, commander or something. Yes, go ahead. So I'm going to tell it to go ahead now. And it's going to go ahead and start working on all that stuff. So it's going to start spawning those 2 agents. We should see those 2 agents appear down here. I am using work trees, yeah. Yeah, I think work trees are like crucial to be able to do stuff like this. And I just like work trees in general. There you go. So here's our first engineer AGT61. And then how do you handle eventual conflicts? I don't. AGT65. I don't. Yeah. So you might be like, what do you mean you don't? I tell the LLM when it does planning to make sure that agents don't modify the same files. That's the easiest way to put it. And then I say if two agents can't modify the same file at the same time, then run them sequentially. That's what I was just saying that actually right before you got here. I've noticed that gets way better results. Like, yes, it's a little slower, but you don't want two devs working on the same file at the exact same time. Otherwise, they would do the exact same thing. Unless they're like communicating with each other. You know what I mean? Which, again, like is unreliable. So, yeah. I'm going to do one more test. I'm actually going to do a make Vorpal start. So TLS is disabled using domain socket for main listener. Vorpal sock, Vorpal sock, Vorpal sock. All right, so I'm going to do ls-alh on that. There's that. You know what, though? I'm not seeing the lock file. Pretty much, yes. Yeah, I'm noticing that the sock is there. Oh, there it is. There it is. There's the lock file. Okay, cool. So vorpal.lock, vorpal.sock. Okay, perfect. So now, if I stop that, I should see no sock, but I do see a lock. So what happens if I start again? Oh, it worked. Okay. I'm not, is the lock file supposed to go away? Okay, I have tested running these services locally as well using make Vorpal start. One thing I am noticing is that the vorpal.lock file for the socket stays after the process is shut down. Is that something we want? All right, so we have our two engineers running, right? So I'm just basically saying, hey, keep waiting, right? They're doing their work. All right. I can see the issue online. The socket file is cleaned up on shutdown, but the lock file is never explicitly removed. The advisory locker is released, the lock drop, but the file itself is lost down. The file this fix to also okay, cool. Yeah. I don't think we need the lock file. You know what I mean? Let me verify build is clear. Yep. Files cleanly. Server shuts down and now removes. Okay, cool. So let's test that. So I'm gonna do make Vorpal start. When I do this, I should see a lock and a sock. So there's our sock. There's our lock. There's both of them. And then if I stop, we drop our lock and our sock. That was fun. Nice. Okay, cool. Yeah, that looks good. I think that looks good. I think that's the only other really change that I would make. And it seems like the only hyperutil and tower. Let me make sure we've got the latest versions of hyperutil and tower. Hyperutil 1, what is it? 1.01.20. What is this one on? Oh yeah, it's the same tower. So I forget the person who asked, like, do you worry about like outdated data? No, because the reality of it is the LLM probably went out on the internet and found that data and realized that that was the latest version. So I didn't really have to worry about it too much. All right, so they're still making changes, dude. They are still churning. All right, go little AI. So I really can't do much else on this project until I move it over to my work laptop. So we were able to basically code an entire project from scratch on stream and get exactly the output we wanted. So, you know, pretty happy with that. And on top of it, I have been able to actually, like, the satisfying thing is that, believe it or not, I have actually been able to make progress on both of the two things I wanted to make progress on today. So it's actually been a very productive day. I'm gonna go ahead and commit these changes because I think we're good, and I'm gonna push these up to CI and make a PR for it, and we'll just see how this runs in CI. Should be fine. Should be fine. I'm gonna have it create a pull request for me. Create a pull request for the. We'll just say create a pull request. How are our boys doing? Both engineers are still actively working, still diagnostic shifting. Okay, so now that this is ran for a while, I am kind of interested in my context use. Yeah, so this is kind of why I am using the max plan. Because this one conversation, I think I saw like 300,000. Yeah, there you go. 300,000 tokens. Yeah. Agent teams are, they're a lot. They're a lot. Did it create the pull request? Oh, okay. I was like, what? Yeah, my pretty little do you hit limits on the max plan often? No, never. Not really ever. Yeah, unless I'm like experimenting and like just again firing off tons of agents. But I want to be clear, I have the max 20 plan. And I'm testing it. I did hit, I like everything I'm doing right now. You probably would, I don't know, if you did it in one project it probably wouldn't be that bad. I don't know if you'd be able to do like multiple projects like how I'm doing it. Maybe, I don't know. I really don't know. I'm maxing out the 5. Yeah. And that's kind of what I was dealing with too. That the 5 times plan, I would eventually hit like limits and stuff. Again, it's a much different thing when you're having it like orchestrate multiple agents simultaneously and all that kind of stuff. We still have a lot of work being done. Make sure issues are in sync. So we should see some issues get popped up into progress in here. There we go. And you know what? You can threaten the model every now and then. Make sure issues are in sync. Do not make me ask you again. Then it really makes sure not to have to do that again. I mean, you know, whatever. All right, so now phase 1 is done. So phase 1 is done, meaning I should be able to run this. Yeah, see how everything's in sync and getting updated? Sometimes you just gotta threaten it a little, that's all. That's funny. Whoa. What? That's crazy. I don't know what it did, but Interesting. Okay. Yeah, that's crazy. I don't know how that did or what that did there. You know what? Oh, I might add this to GitHub webhooks. I think you know what, chat? I think I'm gonna keep this prompt. Yeah, I'm gonna keep this prompt and I'm gonna do it one more time on my work laptop. And the big difference is I'm gonna use it with Bedrock. It'll still be Claude Opus 4.6 or whatever, but it'll be on Bedrock. So I'll be curious to see how that'll work on Bedrock. How to enable dev team? I heard they just released it in Claude Code, but I haven't seen it in mine. Do I need a plugin to install? So you're talking about agent teams is what it's technically called, agent teams. I made a skill called dev team, which focuses on like what you're seeing here of it, like talking to agents and all this. This is all part of agent team. Like this is all agent team, but the way that it's using my specific agents that I've made to run the things basically. But yeah, they're called agent teams. You don't have to, it's not a plugin. You just have to enable it. Claude Code experimental agent teams. So I think that's one of the reasons why it's like a experimental feature, because you can burn through credits very quickly. So this is kind of cool. I haven't tried this yet, but you can also get it to run agent mode in 2 displays. The in-process display, which you see here, but then I guess you can also run it in split pane mode, which means that like it'll actually split pane everything into like a bunch of different windows. Tmux has no limitations with certain operating systems and traditionally works best on Mac OS. I might try that in the future, like the teammate mode, but yeah, it's called agent teams. All right, chat. What time is it? Let me check. 1 second. All right, I might need to call here. It is 2 o'clock, and it is about that time where I got to go get some more work done. I got to actually do stuff for my day job. We did a decent amount of work. Like I said, we basically got the entire CLI for what I needed to start set up, you know. And yeah, I got to show you guys again the whole linear process and how, you know, Claude, or you can use any really model of your choice to work with an issue tracking system to build software. Like this is really a software specific thing, right? But if you are somebody who's trying to like do more automation, less like hand holding and stuff like that, yeah, dude, the issue tracker approach is pretty dope. But if you are interested, please be sure to check out the Discord. Would love to have you guys there. There is an AI channel as well, which I'm not trying to hide anything. If you guys want to ask any questions or have access to any of the agent or skills or any of the stuff I'm building, like, yeah, feel free to hop in the Discord and ask. I would love to, you know, grow as much knowledge as I can around this, because this is kind of what I'm also focusing on as my day job for work. So that's another big reason why I'm doing this, is because it's a bit of my responsibility right now to try and sell these tools. It's super fun in that regard. Also remember to subscribe to the YouTubes. What is your YouTube? And then we have an engineering blog as well if you guys are curious and checking that out too. But yeah, also remember, if you do want to check out any of the code from today, it is in my .files.vorpal repo. Please be sure to give her the old star. I'm using the official one. How much are you spending on Claude tokens? I use the Claude Max 20x plan right now. So, and I've only used it for a month, so I don't know if I'll be staying on this plan, but that's what I'm using currently. But yeah, if you want to see any of the agents or any of the skills or anything that if you're curious about the dev team, how it works, go check out the dev team file, go read it. It'll make a lot more sense, I promise. All right, let me see if I can find us somebody to raid really quickly. Who's live right now? Oh shit, Spheriphoria's live. We haven't talked to him in a minute. Oh, dude, all the homies are live now. What the fuck? Who should we raid? L:(Q or Spheriphoria? We've raided Adam recently. What's your YouTube? Yeah, I think we need to actually have like a real model in there. Oh, I don't know why that's not doing that. Uh-oh. What's the YouTube? Hello? Quirk, are you there? Knock knock. Quirk? Oh yeah, we broke it. Quirk died. I don't know what the fuck happened. All right, let's go raid Spheriphoria. He's a homie. I love this guy. He's also super duper nerdy like us, so let's go say hi to him. Yeah, like I said, I stream Wednesdays and Fridays. I'll be back next Wednesday. I'm gonna be doing more AI stuff. Like I said, I'm really interested in it, really excited about trying to figure out practical ways to use this stuff. So join me on the journey. I'll see you guys next Wednesday. Have a good weekend, guys. Peace out.